Live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Mr. Barack Obama coming to Kamala Harris's rescue after refusing to endorse her at first, after not wanting Joe Biden to run at first. Now he's going to endorse Kamala, and he's trying to criticize and lecture black men. Oh, y'all not doing enough. The 80% rate is not enough. We need more turnout. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Meghan McCain throws Kamala under the bus after Kamala told a story about John McCain. R.I.P. to him, wherever he's at. I don't know if he's above or below. I don't know what's going on, but she's saying, hey, that story does not sound like my dad. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got black Chicago residents who are none too thrilled with the policies of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, where's Kamala's dad at? Does anybody know that? Where is he at? Is she black? Is she white? I think she is what she has identified as for a long time, which is a white lady. But there's a whole lot to get through, and that is first on the plate. But shout out to you guys for being here, and welcome to tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all again for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, we got a lot going on tonight. There is a lot happening, so we're going to get into it. All right. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Y'all know it. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a lot happening. All right. I got to make sure I have all my ducks in a row. Make sure I got everything lined up. I got to get that one video queued up of the residents out there. Yeah, I got to get that one queued up. Hold on. I think they had blocked my one video. Yeah, they tried. They blocked it. Maybe Kamala's people didn't like the one ad about the black voters in Chicago. Maybe they didn't like that one too much. Maybe they say, you know what, that's a little bit too inflammatory toward us, so we're going to go ahead and block that right now. But please believe I will get that video up immediately. But shout out to y'all. Now, we got a lot going on. We got a bunch of videos, a bunch of clips that I have not shown so far. So we're going to get into everything. But y'all know how I do. First things first, shout out to y'all for watching. Shout out to the sponsors as well. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box. Also, go to your browser. Just type in patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Of course, everything, all my links will be in the description box below. Go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll be able to find articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, you'll find sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Democrat, Republican, from local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it. As long as it's legal, I can post it right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. You can find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, my TikTok. Yes, TikTok. I am on that app as well. Find me everywhere All my links available on the website, on the contact page. Now, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me or not on the interwebs, or anybody else for that matter, if you think that your favorite YouTuber or whoever is commenting to you directly in the comments and they say, hey, you know what? Call me on this number right here. I will give you some monies. Call me on the number and give me the gift card, and I will give you what you want. You won't have any problems. If they sound like that, or if they say things like that to you in text communications, that's an automatic red flag right there, okay? That's not how your favorite YouTuber sounds. They probably sound like me or somebody else. If they sound like that, then that's fine. They probably don't. And if they do sound like that, they're not going to say, hey, send me some Apple iTunes gift cards. See, yeah, I don't want to have you have to have an intervention with a Starbucks barista at Target because you just came to the front counter with an armful of gift cards. They're like, ma'am, go ahead and put those back. You're being scammed, okay? Don't do that. I still get emails sometimes of people questioning, hey, is this you in the comment section promising me $10,000? If I give you $500 in a gift card, it's not me. I promise it's not. So let us not be ashamed. Let us not be fooled today. We don't have time. You have to do what's right. You have to go with forward progress. You cannot be an enemy of progress, huh? Idiots. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here. We got a whole lot going on today. A whole lot happening. And I got to get that one clip. I got to get that queued up right now so I don't forget it. Because Obama, I got a lot to say about Obama, actually. I kind of was holding back on my regular video. Not holding back, but I didn't want to make it be a 30-minute video. I wanted just to get my point across in a timely fashion. And he wanted to be up here really talking about Barack Obama's Indonesian and Hawaiian upbringing, not a Black American. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about Obama's history right now. Then later, I'm going to get into the video, okay? His history, though, right now. Hold on. So, check it out. Barack Obama, born in Hawaii, right? His mom is white, or was white, whatever. His dad is Black from Africa. Dad was not in the picture as a child. When he's young, his mom goes to Indonesia. And then she gets married to a guy by the name of Lolo Sotoro, an Indonesian man. For a while, Barack was known as Barry, short for Barack. Barry Sotoro, his stepfather's last name. So when he was a kid, that's how he was raised. Hold on, matter of fact, let me just find some young pictures of Barry Sotoro. I remember this is like a conspiracy back in the day. They were trying to say, oh, it's fake, all this, that, and the third. But no. Okay. And then after the Indonesia days, he went to Hawaii. Okay. Barack Obama is basically a Pacific Islander who like a U.S. expat that grew up as a Pacific Islander, but not a Pacific Islander. Okay. So here he is right here looking like a young Rocky Maivia on the right-hand side. That is Mr. Barack Obama right there. There goes his mom, the white lady, and there goes his stepdad, Lolo Sotoro, right there. Okay, so that was his family picture in Indonesia as a jit, as they say in Florida, as a young man. That is Barack Obama. Now, when Obama says things like, "Oh, Kamala, she grew up like you," all this, that, and the third. Well, did you grow up like us? I know Kamala didn't, but did you? Hey, Black Americans, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't live in Indonesia talking about active volcanoes and all this, that, and the third with my Indonesian stepdad and my white mom. Okay, like, let's just call it what it is. And here is Mr. Obama as he got older with his white grandparents. Now, again, it's okay to be multiracial like that, to grow up a certain way, but don't try to leech off of ancestry. Don't try to leech off of a lineage that you have no connection to, sir. You have no connection. While I was in Virginia, right where it all started, right where they first brought the boat. Y'all know remember the whole thing, the 1619 Project? Remember that? With that other biracial lady, Nicole Hannah-Jones, was talking about? I live right there. Like, we used to go to field trips. That's like 20 minutes away. So we're right where it all started. So when I was out there in the community, in the 100% black area, Mr. Barack Obama was in Hawaii with his white mama and his pawpaw. And it's okay if you grew up like that. I'm not trying to hate on my man for his upbringing. I'm not trying to hate on his parents. I'm not trying to hate on him existing. However, if you grew up a certain way, just say that. Don't say you grew up like me when you didn't. Don't say you grew up like the majority of us when you didn't. You, Mr. Obama, came to Chicago as an adult to get blackified. You were in that church with not God bless America, God, you know what, America. You were in church with that guy for 20 years. That's where you got your black American ways. If not for that, you'd have been talking about aloha, all this, that, and the third. You would have been more like a Hawaiian than a continental lower 48 black American that's been here since slavery. You would have been that guy. You would have been talking about aloha. You would have been a Samoan at best. At best, you would have been a Samoan, not a black American. Now, Kamala, unfortunately, did not really have this intense grooming process. All she did was go to Howard for like 3 years after the first year at a French Canadian college. Imagine that culture shock. You are a child, you're 12 years old, middle school, move into Canada, Montreal, and you stay there, middle school, high school, and college, a French-speaking part of the country. You go from there to Washington, D.C. in the black community. You went there to try to blackify yourself. But there wasn't enough grooming. There wasn't enough training. So now what we see in Kamala is a bumbling, stumbling mess due to there being no grooming process behind her the way it was for Mr. Obama. Okay, but that was on my chest. I wanted to get it off right now. We're going to get right back to Obama later. We're going to get into the clips. We're going to get into Magic Johnson up there talking about, oh, well, you black men. Magic Johnson, don't tell me nothing about what black men got to do. Don't tell me nothing about what black men got to do. How about your 6'8" bull dagger looking son? This dude is your same size, your same weight, look just like you in the face, but he decides to go the whole Dwayne Wade's son route. What's up with the basketball players, boys becoming transgenders? Is there a reason for that? I don't know. Anyway, your boy is wearing ball gowns to the beach. Don't tell me nothing about what it's like to be a man. I don't want to hear nothing. Obama, same thing. I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, you got your kid smoking squares at 18 years old. I don't want to hear nothing. All right, I'm triggered. I'm triggered. But we're going to get to Obama. Oh, yes, we will. We will get to Mr. Barack. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, we got to get into it. Like, you know, I get tired of these people, man. Like the Barack Obamas of the world. You know, they sent him to lecture us because they sent him to lecture us because that's how they think we respond. They think the best way to get to us is by attacking, by name calling, by chastising, by bringing some big mama out there or bringing the dad. Like we don't have fathers, like we don't know what it's like to be ruled by men. But the problem is I'm way too old. I'm way too old for this kind of behavior. And I have a father. I have family. I was not raised by wolves. Barack Obama can't tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. Even if I didn't have a father in my life, Barack Obama would not be some kind of tower of some pillar of masculinity. Okay, I see him as like a Will Smith type character and a Hollywood actor at best. I don't see him as somebody that I should look up to for advice. I see him as an actor who went to Chicago as an adult after living his whole life as a Pacific Islander in Indonesia and then Hawaii. You from Oceania. You're not from the United States. Keep all the way real. Hawaii is a US ABL. Please stop playing games. It's a big difference between the Big Island and Chicago, Illinois. All right. Now, before I get any more triggered, let's go to someone who triggers me a lot, actually. We have, what's her name? Jasine Crockett talking about, hey, you know, The issues with the migrant gangs, that's not really the problem. The issue is with MAGA. That's the problem. So when the black community in Chicago says the Venezuelans are causing problems, when you ask people, hey, who you voting for in Chicago, and 40% of them, 50% of them or more immediately say the Venezuelans are a problem, obviously it's a problem. You know what I don't hear in Chicago? You know what I don't hear in Chicago, Miss Jasine Crockett? What I don't hear are black folks in Chicago saying that MAGA is a problem. Never have I ever heard any black person say that MAGA is a problem. You know, does say MAGA is a problem. The left, far leftists, the kind of person that might be on a bicycle and crash into your car. You're in the bike lane, that kind of person. That's who is speaking that way. But regular everyday people, black, white, Puerto Rican candy stripe, don't speak that way. It's y'all. Okay, it's people that have Teslas that don't like Elon Musk at the same time. So on the back of their bumper, they have Elon's name crossed out right next to the Tesla logo. That's the people that think the way you think, not regular, everyday, average Americans, regardless of what color they are. All right. In Springfield, Ohio, is it the MAGA that's causing the problem, or just a ridiculous influx of migrants from one place? How is that possible? 20,000 Haitian migrants, third world country, starving, broke, hungry, no English, to a town at 55,000. No licenses, but still got the ability to drive a car. The accident rate in Springfield tripled. So there goes all your bills going up, your insurance, personal property tax, perhaps, everything going up to pay for these people. But let me let her explain why she believes MAGA is the problem and not the migrants.
He said that we
RIP to the headphone user. Sorry for the loud noise. Let's start from the top.
He said that we've got these cities and these towns that are being overrun by gangs and the crime out of control. I absolutely agree with that. And guess what? It's the MAGA gang. It is the white supremacists that have decided to descend upon places such as Springfield, Ohio. So I agree with him. I just disagree with who the problems are. The problems are him and his minions. The problems aren't the people that have come to make our economy stronger, the people that have actually been able to help to continue to make sure that we got out of the big hole that he put us in after COVID-19 with his ineptness. Like, yeah, I agree that there are problems in our communities, but usually it's some white supremacists on the other side. He said that we've got these cities.
Okay, so there we go. That's what we're going to blame, the white supremacists. That's the problem right there. Nobody's talking about white supremacists. That's not really a thing. This ain't the 1930s. Ain't nobody coming out in no Klan robe. And can I say something right quick since I'm right here? Since I'm on the topic of the KKK, a very non-sensitive topic right there. Can I say something right quick? Listen, Tuskegee Institute, the black college, they put out some numbers about who was actually deleted during the time of lynching being a thing that happened in the United States. Between 1860, this is right around Civil War time, right before slaves got freed. Between 1860 and 1960, 3,500 black folks were lynched. Now, it doesn't say who did it. It doesn't say if it was a Klan, if it was a random white mob, if it was a black person, because a lot of times back then you would get lynched if it was like you pretty much did it and the whole town descended upon you to go ahead and enact justice. The problem is a lot of innocent people got killed too. But anyway, 3,500 in 100 years. So I'm not a mathematician, but let's do a little bit of math, shall we? A little bit of quick math. 3,500 divided by 100, 35 per year. Now that number right there, I mean, we eclipsed that. We eclipsed the entire 100-year lynching number combined from Klan, black folks, white folks, whoever. We eclipsed that every 6 months in the black community, and it was more than that in the late 80s, early 90s during the crack wars. 10,000, 20,000, it was nothing. So white supremacists, even when it was a thing, it wasn't that big of a thing like they want to make it be. And it's most certainly not a thing right now in 2024. Like, what are we even saying? People like that, man, they have no sense of what reality is. Now, speaking about someone else who's struggling with what reality is, we have Mara Gay talking about the crisis that men face in this country. All right, let me get that video on the screen. Let's let it roll.
I think men are in crisis, actually, in this country. I think that plays out different ways. And not all men are in crisis, of course. And not all men are just at home listening to Joe Rogan, being angry or being recruited to fascism. Some just need therapy, like we all do. I go to therapy. That's great. But I think we need to have a real conversation about that rather than allowing this kind of drift toward this faux masculinity that we see Donald Trump evincing. I think.
Okay, so basically, if you listening to Joe Rogan, you're like a is that the incel podcast? Is that what they're trying to say? You listening to Joe Rogan, you just in your house getting angry. Guess that's what's going on. Look, men do have an issue in this country, and really the country has a problem, men and women. But it shouldn't be this thing where somebody who doesn't really understand what's going on, you shouldn't even be talking about it for real. You want to try to diagnose the problem, like don't even really say nothing. Just say there's an issue and then ask for some of the solutions. Now, one of the things is that the economy is in shambles. That's a big part of what's going on. The economy is in shambles and the social climate is turned against regular, normal, everyday people. If you don't believe in LGBTQ, elemental P, X, Y, and Z, then you're considered to be somehow a bad person, depending upon where you live. Okay, you're being forced to accept things and accept ways of life that you don't agree with. And it forces people to find alternative ways of being able to live outside of what they're being forced into as kids and everything else. Then you have a lot of these crazy parents that drive their kids into doing weird things. You got a bunch of transformers, that's children. How do we have transformer children? How is that even a thing? How do you even know what that is to be a trans mutant, whatever it is? How do you understand what that is at 5 years old? How do you have Dwayne Wade's boy, his boy, Zion, or whatever his birth name, whatever his slave name is? How do you have this person at 12 years old announce that he wants to be transgender and the parents cool with it? How does it even happen? You know, back in my day, here goes old man shakes fist at cloud. Back in my day, you know what happened? All right, let's say you want to be a transgender. You come to your mom one day. You get up out the bed one day and get brave, right? And you say, hey, mom, I want to be a transgender. She be like, you got transgender money? you got a transgender house to live in? Okay, like, you going to transgender these grades up? That's what I would hear. None of that foolishness. None of these things that go on. But a lot of these parents nowadays feel like if they don't let it happen, then they're going to get locked up. They're going to lose the kids and everything else. And sometimes that does happen. A lot of these places like California, hey, if you don't allow your 5-year-old to become transgender, you might be in trouble. That is an issue. That might cause some of the men to be like, you know what? I don't like what's going on in society. I think I'm going to do something else, or I want to leave. I want to kind of like clock out because I don't want to be involved in this kind of nonsense. All right. Now, I did hear about Tampon Tim and the rumor, but I don't know nothing about that being true or false. So I'm not going to talk about that until I get a little bit more information. I hear a lot of rumors every day. I hear a lot of rumors that I never say anything about and they wind up not being true. So once we get some confirmation, then I'll be able to speak on it. But until then, I don't know nothing. All right. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Now we got my main man, JD Vance, talking about some of the same things that's going on. The most important thing he's talking about here is the workforce participation rate. That's kind of low. People are kind of clocking out. And also people are having a hard time being able to get into the market because of the migrants and things of that nature. And sometimes if they are into the market, what can happen is they are still struggling because of the cost of things. Inflation going through the roof. It's a mess. So let's watch this from JD Vance. And I think this is a New York Times reporter. Her name is Lulu Garcia Navarro. Check it out. All right, let's get a little bit of sound and video and let it roll.
And that there is a housing crisis is that not enough houses have been built.
And that we have 25 million people who shouldn't be here.
Well, I mean, this is the thing.
I think it's both.
I know you do. I don't think that many people who look into this agree with you, but about a third of the construction workforce in this country is Hispanic. Of those, a large portion are undocumented. So how do you propose to build all the housing necessary that we need in this country by removing all the people who are working in construction?
Let's pause. That is crazy. Hey, how are you going to remove all the construction workers? So I guess if you are a migrant, that's what you do. Isn't that like what Obama said? Fruit pickers, bed makers, and house framers? That's all you're going to do. So if you are of Hispanic descent, the only reason why you're here as a migrant is to go frame houses or pick cabbage and stuff like that. Okay. You can't be working in tech. You can't be doing nothing else other than that. All right. So when someone says, oh, these are just, bean counters or whatever, then that shouldn't be a racist thing, right? Because that's what they always say. They always say stuff like that. And then they say it's us that's the racist. All we're saying is, hey, if you're going to come here legally. Don't abuse our system. Don't overwhelm the system. Don't dump 20,000 migrants from one place, a third world country with no English. Don't dump them on town of 55,000. There's not enough resources. They're not able to really, participate in society properly. They don't assimilate. It's a problem that the town is left to foot the bill for, that the federal government doesn't really care for. They don't really care. Okay, that's an issue. But just because they are migrants does not mean they're working. It does not mean they're doing legal things. And it doesn't mean that they are just all framing houses, unlike what the New York Times reporter thinks.
Well, I think it's a fair question because we know that back in the 1960s, when we had very low levels of illegal immigration, Americans didn't buy houses, didn't build houses. But of course they did. And I'm being sarcastic, of course, in service of a point, Lulu, the assumption that because a large number of home builders now are using undocumented labor, that's the only way to build homes. I think, again,
the country is much bigger. The need is much bigger. I mean, I'm not arguing in favor of illegal immigration. I'm asking how you would deal with the knock-on effect of your proposal to remove millions of people who work in a critical part of the economy.
I mean, it's a false question because you're acting like the house is not going to get built. You're acting like before the current migrant crisis that no houses got built. Even if you think that migrants are the only ones that can do this, there's no American citizens who are construction workers. Even if you think that, then let's not act like they weren't here before the migrant crisis. The migrants, the fruit pickers, bed makers, construction people, they've been here. Like they're like part of society. A lot of them were probably born here, for real. So that's not really a thing to talk about the current migrant crisis as if it's the Hispanic building framers. Do you know that 70% of the recent migrants to New York City are African? Are these the Hispanic home builders? I think not. So let's not play games, Miss Navarro.
Well, I think that what you would do is you would take, let's say, for example, the 7 million prime age men who have dropped out of the labor force, and you have a smaller number of women, but still millions of women prime age who have dropped out of the labor force. You absolutely could re-engage folks into the American labor market. This is, I think,
to work in construction?
Of course you could.
I mean, the unemployment rate is 4.1%. Most people
unemployment rate, Lulu, this is important.
But most people who don't work can't work in the regular economy. They're in the military, they're parents, they're sick, they're old. They might not want to work in construction.
The unemployment rate does not count labor force participation dropouts. And again, this is one of the really deranged things that I think illegal immigration does to our society, is it gets us in a mindset of saying we can only build houses with illegal immigrants when we have 7 million, just men, not even women, just men who have completely dropped out of the labor force. People say, well, Americans won't do those jobs. Americans won't do those jobs for below the table wages.
Because let's be clear, the reason why the migrant has become the de facto force when you see a home being built is because they're cheap. And they do work hard. Don't get it twisted. Like the Guatemalans, Mexicans, they do work hard. But I'm not saying it's the best work ever. It's just cheap. That's the thing. Okay, you have cheap, quick labor. That's what they're there for. Let's not act like Americans don't know how to do these things.
They won't do those jobs for non-living wages, but people will do those jobs. They will just do those jobs at certain wages.
The people that's out there, the Hispanics framing houses, $10 an hour. $10 an hour. Why would an American do that? But you can go to Chick-fil-A and make $14 an hour. It doesn't make any sense. But they do it because they can do that kind of work without having documentation. That's the bottom line. And the reason why they get paid so little is because they don't have leverage. Like, I don't know, being a citizen.
Think about this from the perspective of an American company, okay? I want them to go searching in their own country for their own citizens. Sometimes people who may be struggling with addiction or trauma, get them re-engaged in American society. We cannot have an entire American business community that is giving up on American workers and then importing millions of illegal laborers. That is what we have thanks to Kamala Harris's border policies. I think it's one of the biggest drivers of inequality. It's one of the biggest reasons why we have millions of people who have dropped out of the labor force. Why try to re-engage an American citizen in a good job if you can just import somebody from Central America who's going to work under the table for poverty wages? It is a disgrace, and it has led to the evisceration of the American middle class.
There it is. Boom. There it is. Right on. So shout out to my man, JD Vance. Shout out to him. Now, some are going to try to say, oh, well, is he arguing for living wages? Nah. You see, wages are determined by a few things. And one of them is the available labor pool. So if there's illegal aliens here who don't really have any rights or have limited rights, if they're here, then they can have their labor exploited for next to no money. If they were not here, then that wouldn't be possible, and the market has to adjust to what life is for Americans. The life that we've built up has to adjust to it. Okay, it's real simple. Again, this is why Chick-fil-A is like, what, $14, $15 an hour, but framing the house, which is more labor-intensive work, more skilled labor work, is $10 an hour if you are an illegal alien. But an American, of course, is going to want more. Chick-fil-A is 14. Why would I go do that for 10? I want to get X, Y, Z amount of money. And it's going to be a higher quality because you often get what you pay for. All right. Now, I have an ad here that Trump played. Old military versus new military.
You will not laugh.
All right, let me put it on the screen for you guys.
You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So this is old military versus new military. Matter of fact, let me start from the top.
You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir. Let me see your war face. Sir, you got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Ah! Bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah!
I hear it and I know.
Let me get that music out the way. But yeah, that's not a good war face.
Be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
How to abracadabra, these bitches know I got answers. So
Yeah, not very good.
That part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as the brown stain on the mattress.
So you get the idea of what's going on. And sorry for the cussing, but hey, it don't really count. If you're a drill sergeant, drill instructor, your cursing is pretty much just regular vocabulary, so it don't really count with him. But yeah, shout out to the classic movie and shout out to what's going on right now with the military. Maybe that's why a lot of young men are checking out. Like, really, if that's what's waiting for me in the military, maybe I don't want to go. Okay, I'm not trying to see my shipmate pop out 6'3" with a pair of high heels on. I don't want to see that out in the water. Okay, that's not really my cup of tea. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, here's an ad from Kamala blaming Trump for the failed hurricane response to Hurricane Helene.
Donald Trump wouldn't.
All right. So there we go.
Donald Trump wouldn't send relief based on who voted for him.
Hurricane Helene has devastated lives, and Trump is spreading dangerous lies to win an election.
This misinformation can prevent people from getting the help that they need.
When Americans most need a leader, he's in it for himself.
But look, though, who's in office right now? How are they trying to blame Trump for any of this? He's not in office. Listen, the current administration, they're in the office. If the current administration is so weak that one man who's not in office can dictate the hurricane relief effort, then they're not a strong administration. Furthermore, all Trump was talking about are the cries of the people. The government says, hey, FEMA's out there. We sent $200 billion, whatever the amount of money was, 200 million, 200 billion. Actually, 200 million, not billion. They send the Ukrainians and the Taiwanese and the Israelis and the Lebanese and the Iranians billions, but not us. Anyway, we got FEMA on the ground. We sent $200 million, but the people are saying, hey, I'm out here in this isolated area and nobody's come to see us. We're just kind of hanging on. It's the locals making everything happen. FEMA is not really here. He's just echoing the sentiments of the people. But that's considered misinformation. So when the people say something, the people that are there on the ground, when they say something, it's misinformation. When the news media says something, then it's real. I think that I'm willing to believe people on the ground who are reporting it from different places, there's regular people, they're not trolling. I think I believe them when I hear them more than the news media and more than the federales, for sure. But yeah, I mean, all that Trump was saying is that FEMA is not doing their job. FEMA is not doing a good job. Everybody knows that. And FEMA, it's not the first time that FEMA has been criticized. It's not the first time. FEMA has been plagued with problems. Going back to Katrina, 2005. This ain't no new thing. And then, of course, you got Hurricane Helene. That's a big issue. Milton, I don't think did that much damage because it wasn't the same issue with the mountainous areas where you had so much of that high to low opportunity. It was just kind of like washing across the flat surface. Yeah, Springfield, same thing. Same thing with Springfield. All that Trump said is, hey, these people are talking about what's going on in their town and they don't like it. They're going to city council meetings repeatedly for months. They're trying to get the attention of the governor, the senators, the mayors, the feds. So Trump is the one who echoes the message to the public. All of a sudden, it becomes about, oh, you're racist for saying that they are eating cats and dogs. But remember this, when COVID broke out, the government told you that some Chinese man ate a bat at a wet market and the bat consumption triggered an outbreak of a disease. That's what they told you, and that story was completely fake. It was fake, and they knew it was fake from the beginning. So when they concoct a story about somebody eating a bat in China, and that's what sparked it, you made it seem like the Chinese were just over there living like it's the medieval Europe, bubonic plague and stuff like this happening in China. When in reality, it was just a lab that was poorly maintained and it leaked from the lab. That's what happened. Okay, you got the lab right there. So I'm to believe in a place where they have a lab where they actually work on coronaviruses, right outside the lab, it's a dude with a hot pot, a Dutch pot with a bat in there and some potatoes and tomatoes. Is that what I'm going to believe? Okay. All right. BS. But then if I say, hey, there's certain habits of certain groups of people. You got the Haitians with the cats. You got the Europeans sometimes with the horse meat. The Chinese with the dogs sometimes. If I say that, then I'm wrong. Or how about Americans? How about Black Americans? Chitterlings. All right. Shout out to the Nigerians, Jamaicans. Do you guys eat chitlins? Have you ever smelled chitlins on the pot? Listen, you can smell chitlins from blocks away. Okay. I'll never forget in West Virginia, my grandma and them, they're making some chitlins. I'm down the street at the 7-Eleven. okay, at the famous 7-Eleven, Rand University. I'm down there. As I'm coming back, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Whoosh. This big tornado hit me right in my face with the chitlin smell. Who else does that? Now, if I say that we do that, am I lying? Am I being racist? It is what it is. People do different things. The key is wherever you come next, you got to do what they do, not whatever you want to do. So maybe if I go to China and then I got a big, fresh 20-pound bucket of chitlins and I'm steaming that in an apartment complex, they might not like that. They might say, hey, that black guy, he cooked chitlin. It stink. That black guy down there. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Now, here's DeSantis destroying Kamala for the whole hurricane thing because she was trying to make the whole thing be about her. But watch this.
There was some praise that came your way from President Biden and said that they had spoken, you had spoken. Then there was this brouhaha over Vice President Harris apparently reaching out to you and maybe not taking the call, and this whole thing, accusations that this had all become politicized. Can you just speak to what happened there?
I am working with the President of the United States. I'm working with the Director of FEMA. I'm marshaling all my state assets. We've been doing this now nonstop for over 2 weeks between Helene and this. And so if there's anything I can leverage to benefit my people, I'm going to do it. The fact of the matter is they put out a story saying I didn't even know she was trying to reach me, but she has no role in this process. And I've been dealing with these storms in Florida under both Trump and Biden. Neither of them ever politicized it. And in fact, all the storms I've dealt with under this administration, although I've worked well with the president, she has never called in Florida. She has never offered any support. So what she's doing is she's trying to inject herself into this because of her political campaign. So as the governor here who's leading this, I don't have time for those games. I don't care about her campaign. Obviously, I'm not a supporter of hers, but she has no role in this process. And so I'm working with the people I need to be working with. We're leveraging the resources I need to be leveraging. And for her to try to say that my focus should be on catering to her rather than worrying about my own people just shows she doesn't understand what it means to respond to these natural disasters.
I mean, everybody is torching Kamala. Kamala has not very many friends in this political game, as I see. I mean, you got the Obamas of the world, Magic Johnson, all these people trying to help Kamala, but the people that actually know they're talking about, the real people, nobody likes her. There's nothing that, like I said, they were trying to replace her earlier this year. They were trying to replace her. But truthfully, I mean, look at this guy here. You had two bad people in office. First, this guy who is 1 million years old. This guy is old as dirt. Methuselah, he is very old. Okay? And then his running mate is incompetent. So that's a double whammy. But let's see what he says here about if you don't take heed to his hurricane response, I guess, requests, demands. Watch this.
I think those who have been spreading the
RIP to the headphone users. Let's start from the top, please.
I think those who have been spreading these lies to try to undermine the opposition are going to pay a price for it. I think. Okay, so if you're spreading lies, you're going to pay a price. What lies, though? What lies have been spread? You know, this is a thing that they do all the time. When the left, they want to attack anybody on the right, especially Trump specifically. They'll say, oh, he lies. He's told X number of lies. That's all they do on MSNBC, those kind of stations. That's all they do, talk about Trump lied, Trump lied, Trump lied. But then when you ask, what are the lies? They come up light. Or it'll be things that are reported in a certain way to where you could consider it to be a lie, but in the proper context in which he said it, it was not a lie. You understand? But then when they get caught
with making bold-faced incorrect statements, bold-faced lies on the left. They want to cover it up and act like you're wrong for pointing it out. That's how they do. All right. That is how they do. Now, we got some folks on the street here. I'm not sure what's happening here. I saw this, but I didn't really get to watch it. So hopefully it's not too much cussing. Judging by the outfit, there might be a few curse words. Hold on, I got to sneeze and it's not trying to exit. Let me just play this.
Why is he? We can talk. Why does he hate me? He does not smile at all. If he would smile, his face would crack.
Wait, what's Michael Myers? What'd you say about Michael Myers?
He's gonna come here tonight and he's gonna chop his head off.
Who?
Michael Myers.
I know.
So she wants Michael Myers from the Halloween movie to come and attack Trump.
But whose head?
Trump's. He has a lot of people fighting for him.
You shouldn't threaten that man.
That's
So there you go. There's your liberal voter right there, straight from the basement. Straight from the basement, wearing her son's swimming trunks, some camo shorts, so camo basketball swimming trunks with a pair of flip-flops and a Halloween hoodie, a short sleeve Bill Belichick Halloween hoodie. That's crazy. How do you fashion a short sleeve hoodie? Like, where they do that at? And the hoodie has the Halloween movie poster on it. So yeah, there we go. So when you're on the internet arguing with somebody about politics, just know it's probably somebody looks just like that in their basement. They might be in Eastern Europe somewhere, head to toe. It's borched everywhere, all over the place. So yeah, I would just save my keystrokes because I'm not trying to really entertain this type of individual. Yeah, so shout out to the Bill Belichick fall collection hoodies. Anyway, let's keep on rolling. Now we have a Kamala supporter charging at a Trump supporter. All right. Now look, listen. If this is your charging stance, I don't know. Like, what are you even doing? What are we doing? I don't see a weapon in your hands. Don't do that to me, please. Just, hey, hold your little sign, mind your business, keep your mask on, and we'll be fine, man. Don't do this action right here.
Hey! You stay away from him! I will fucking hurt you! You better watch out! Back up, fuck you, you want to get back up,
All righty, so there we go. Little bit of tussling, biting people. It's always them. It's always them. I never see it the other way around. I never see a Trump supporter just crash out on a Biden person. I never see that. I never seen the dude with a Trump Vance sign just crash out on the blue hair person with the Kamala Harris Waltz. I never see that. It's always one way. And here's somebody else just walking through, and the person is in MAGA country with a Harris Waltz sign, but nothing happens. A few little comments, but nothing out of the way. Check it out.
You ain't welcome here, buddy. Are you crazy? I'm squares for Harris. Where? You're not welcome here. Go wear your shiny hat somewhere else. You ain't even from here. How much did they pay you to do that?
So a few little comments, but nothing crazy. No, nobody went out there and did the crazy, anime exaggerated run. Nobody did that. A few little comments. You're not welcome here. Your sparkly cowboy hat, all this, that, and the third. That's all they got. That's all that happened. Nothing else beyond that happened, which is usually the case. And this person was being antagonistic, obviously, with the Harris Waltz sign above their head in MAGA country, trying to antagonize people. All that he got was a few comments and an Instagram video. That's it. That's all that he got. All right. But again, we don't do stuff like that. We're pretty much chilling, and we're not going to attack you if you do. Now, here's an interesting ad because Trump said something about Detroit. And I guess Detroiters got offended, or some got offended on the behalf of Detroit. So, watch this. This is a Kamala ad.
And so what Donald Trump doesn't understand, or care to learn, is that when he said,
our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president,
that he should be so
and they cuss a little bit right here too.
Damn lucky.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Now listen, Trump said that Kamala wants the whole country to be like Detroit. I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, do you want to be like Detroit? Is that what you would like for the future? Like, I don't think I wouldn't be like Detroit. I think Detroit is a model for what you shouldn't do. Shout out to everybody out there in Detroit. If you enjoying yourself, making money, then hey, great. But obviously Detroit is not what it used to be. And everybody knows that. Nobody's going to really deny that. You got a lot of crime, violence, poverty, abandoned houses. Everybody knows what Detroit is. Okay. But this particular commercial here says, hey, that'd be a good thing to turn America into Detroit. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. Most of us don't want that. Now here is a Tampon Tim, some kind of rally or something. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. So, okay, I'm gonna read the original caption. Vibes are high as Tucsonans excitedly wait to welcome Governor Tim Waltz on the first day of early voting in Arizona. We have 27 days, et cetera, et cetera. So this is for Tim at high school gymnasium. I'll turn music off, but we got a little dance party happening with two people on the floor of the gymnasium. All right, so there we have it. Get on the ground, sir. Like, what are we even doing? So cringe. But that is the Tampon Tim audience right there. In a high school gym. Never anywhere bigger than that because they don't draw crowds at all. They don't draw crowds at all. And they were trying to like get out on top of that. That's why you had Obama making those jokes about PP sizes or whatever, because he knew he couldn't counteract the whole thing about the crowds being small. Trump's going to arenas. Trump's always packed out wherever he goes. But they, on their side, they are having high school gymnasiums at best. At best. Now, we got Jennifer Garner. She has endorsed Kamala. I've not seen this yet. I just saw it right now today. Let's watch this. Let's get a little bit of sound, shall we? Somebody say AARP prom is crazy. AARP prom. All right, let's watch this from Jennifer Garner.
Listen, I know you've knocked and knocked, and I know you've called and called. I know you've given and given, and you're worn out. But the truth is, you are the front lines. This is it. I mean, I'm looking at these beautiful faces, these women, and at these strong men. God, is there anything sexier than a man who is like men for Kamala?
Okie dokie, hold on.
But you are the front line of this battle, for lack of a better word. It really is. There are two ways forward, and you guys are going to have a huge voice in how that way is chosen. Listen, I know you've knocked and knocked, and I know. All
right, so Jennifer Garner loves the dudes for Kamala. That's her thing. White dudes for Kamala, men for Kamala. She loves them. Okay, and are we gonna get to that in a minute? We got quite a few. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get straight to the men for Kamala. I'm gonna get to that right now, and then I got some more I want to get back to. But this ad was done by a guy by the name of Jacob Reed. Jacob Reed is or was a Jimmy Kimmel writer. He also was on Funny or Die as a writer, that TV show back in the day. I'm not sure if it's still around. But this guy's a TV writer. Now, if you have not seen this ad, yes, it's cringe. Yes, it's cringe. If you have not seen this ad, what you're going to see is part of the reason why TV sucks so bad. Because if guys like this are writing the content for television, then we got a problem. And I want to point out some things that I didn't say in the first video. All right. Because again, time's sake. Now, this is called Man Enough. It's a Harris Wels ad that was independently done by Jacob Reed and his friends, which are nothing but LGBT Hollywood actors. All right.
I'm a man.
I'm a man. I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man.
Wait a minute. Let's go back. Hey, a lot of y'all pointed this out. What got me was random bale of hay in the back of the truck. This old school truck. I know you ain't driving that, and I know that you've never sat on the tailgate of a truck before. Who sits like this? This is like your 8th grade school picture. Okay, sit like this. You know, remember those what was it, a Life Touch, where they would come in and tell you to do little poses. Okay, put your hand right here on your hip, look forward and smile. And you looking all crazy. You're like 10 years old. You're like, that's how I see my man right here. Clearly an actor. This is his very first time ever touching the truck bed, ever. Okay, ever. Tesla driver at best.
Rare. Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
You eat carburetors, eggs, cheese, bacon, donuts, hoo-hoos, wham-whams. You eating everything for breakfast. You eating the entire orchard behind you for breakfast, sir. And look, you pretty much opened the door to that joke. Obviously, you're a big guy. Shout out to the big guys. You're a big guy. You're talking about eating. I'm going to just you open the door for a fat joke. It is what it is.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
And this guy right here, by the way, I think they identify mostly all these dudes as LGBT, or the majority of them. This guy right here is an LGBT Nigerian. Oh, your father must be so disappointed in you. You could have been anything in this world. You choose to be gay. Why are you gay? You used to be doctor, a lawyer, or something like that. I send you back to Nigeria, first class. First class, you go back to Nigeria today. I don't have time for you foolishness, boy. You insolent boy. You've always been a pain in my side. You've been a pain in my side since the beginning. Your mother did not want to have you. I should have let it have it. Anyway, hold on. I'm doing way too much. But yeah, this guy right here, LGBT, and the guy right here, also LGBT.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies?
And this guy right here is an actor and has no children. And he was cast in one movie. I forget what it was called. You've not seen it before. And his role was alcoholic consumer. Well, I'll tell you what, he most certainly has the alcoholic consumer appearance. So I think that he's well suited for such a role.
I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies? Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president? Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement. Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like. I'm man enough to raw dog a flight.
Now, y'all didn't know what that meant, raw dogging the flight, which is really crazy kind of choice of words, especially from a guy like this. You at risk of monkeypox, sir. But anyway, what that means, it's like something that the young kids are doing where they go on a flight and they don't listen to a podcast, they don't watch a movie, they don't do any kind of drinks, snacks, no Biscoff cookies, no ginger ale. They pretty much just sit there like this the whole flight. I guess that's cool. Listen, when I get on the flight, I'm going to do one or two things. First, I'm getting my snacks off the rip. I'm getting my Biscoff cookies and a ginger ale on ice every single time. And then if I'm on Delta and I got a screen, I'm watching the movie. Okay? And if it's kind of a longer flight, I'm going to be going to bed. I might take a nap during liftoff, during takeoff. And then when the snack cart come around, I'll magically wake up.
Sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Goodwill.
And I did hear full-throated. I did hear that again. Very strange, peculiar choice of words. You could have said anything else other than that. But hey, it is what it is.
Hunting.
West Side Story. That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women. I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
All right, so there we go. That's the ad from your man, what's his name? Jacob Reed. Jacob Reed. And here's another one. Now, this was worse. The Tampon Tim one. So that was just, dudes for Kamala, I suppose, with a bunch of LGBT actors. Nobody in that commercial was not an actor. They're all actors in Los Angeles. That's what that was. So somebody may see that ad and think, oh, these are great family men, all this, that, and the third. No, these are just people who got cast for a role. No different than Juicy Smollett and the Nigerian bodybuilders pretending to be white guys. That whole plot has got to be the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. The craziest thing. These white guys threw bleach on me. They put a rope on my neck. Sir, you couldn't even get white guys. Not only did you not get white guys, you got bodybuilding Nigerians. Anyway, here's the ad that the same guy did for Tampon Tim. Ready for the cringe? Let's watch.
I love sinking into the couch, cold beer in my mouth, rooting for the twins and Tim. And I love sharing all my tools, playing by the rules, keeping those edges trim. And Tim, I love leaving my wife notes, making a plan to vote, helping Kamala win. And Tim, we love you, Tim. Woo! Go get him, coach.
Hey, go get him, coach. What in the 1990s sitcom? What in the generic football movie? What in the you have a day off from school and you watch something on TV during the daytime? What in a sub came to your school with the TV that's on the big crate and you put on the movie was that? That was the worst thing I've seen in my life. That was bad. And listen, that song, whoever made that song, I don't know how you sleep at night. I don't know how you sleep at night making a song like that. Watching the twins and Tim, man, ain't no way. How do you sing that song without laughing, with keeping a straight face? How do you do that? Hey, so do y'all think that those ads are going to work for Tampon Tim and Kamala Harris? Are they going to work? How about it? Or do you want to sing that song? And Tim, do you want to sing that song? Are you going to play that in your car? I should hope not. I really do. Go get him, coach. That was the craziest thing I've heard in my life. Go get him. Go get what? Who are you getting and how? Like, you're going to Little League football coach the country into success? Like, what? Anyway. So somebody said that this guy reminded them of Tampon Tim. Now, the show is called, and I'm not cussing here, so don't nobody get offended. It's called Schitt's Creek. I'm not cussing. That's the name of the show. It's not spelled like the curse word. It's spelled like not a curse word, like a location. So they say that this guy is like Tampon Tim.
You know, Johnny. Hey there, Johnny. Keeping busy or hardly working? For a haircut tonight. Haircut. Hey, Johnny.
Bob,
So, okay, if you guys can't see the screen, what you have is a guy that looks like Tim Waltz. It's the same kind of aesthetic. Ain't that what they say on TikTok? Ain't that what the youngins say? Aesthetic. It's the same kind of look. Okay, you got dad jeans, polo shirt, a little bit of beard belly, gray hair, low cut. Okay, I'm the tool master, the grill master, hands on the hips, asserting my dominance in my garage. Okay, that's kind of the vibe you get from Tampon Tim. It's the same guy. And then the kind of effeminate hand movement, jazz hands. That's him. If it's not him, I can't tell. Yeah, so that's him. Yeah, you see a little prance, a little resemblance. Yeah.
So, what do you think, Johnny? Just the guy I wanted to see.
That's Tampon Tim Waltz right there. So I don't know who thought that guy, Mr. Grillmaster, would be appropriate to be the vice presidential pick for Kamala Harris. I don't know who had that bright idea, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So shout out to that guy. Shout out to him. Oh, and then we have Tampon Tim out there in the field hunting. He's hunting. And I'm not sure that he understands how to handle this weapon.
That's my theory.
And it never fits quite right.
Never fits quite right. Just not quite right. How do you give it back?
Governor, what kind of gun is it?
This was a Beretta A400. I bought it when I was shooting a lot of trap because it has a kind of their patented thing, a kickoff. So when you get old, it doesn't hurt your shoulder as much. That's my theory.
And it never fits.
So do you think he's just, is he fumbling with the weapon, not knowing what's going on, making sure everything is good, getting it customized? I don't really know. I'm not very confident in Tim's ability to handle that weapon. But maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe he's just doing the right thing. That stance, I've never seen anybody do that before. Trying to load the shotgun, I suppose. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on, but that's Tampon Tim for you. Let's keep on moving here. All right. Now we got a little bit of sound. This is him.
And we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at. And we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
So weapons of war. Okay. You have you were in war handling weapons of war. But I'm not quite sure that's true, Tim, because you look kind of janky out there for a guy who was in the war zone handling weapons. You look kind of janky. I can see if you were a normie, but you're not, according to what you say. Now, I'm gonna tell my kids in the future that this character right here was Elmer Fudd. You get the same vibe. This is Elmer Fudd all day long. So shout out to Elmer Fudd. Shout out to the old school cartoons. Hey, if they do a live action movie featuring Elmer Fudd, I want Tampon Tim to play that role. That's what I want him to do. Listen, don't try to become, the vice president. Don't try to continue in politics. Be an actor. You could play Elmer Fudd all day long. Like how what's my man's name that plays Wolverine? You could play Wolverine for 20 years. All right. And then when you get to be too old, they're going to put CGI on your face the same way they did in The Irishman with Al Pacino in them. They're going to do that with the Wolverine. You could play Elmer Fudd for the next 20 years. That's what I want to see. Rather than you becoming the vice president, put your looks to good use. All right. Now here he is approaching the scene. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but this is him at the beginning of the pheasant hunt in Minnesota. Gotta go out there and tell everybody what's going on.
Opener.
Give everybody the lay of the land. And that's pretty much what's going on. Such cringe campaign opportunities, really cringe, but that's what they do. It's giving a little bit of Zelensky vibes. And you can see how he looks just like the other guy that I showed. The same kind of build, the same kind of face, the same kind of everything, same kind of aesthetic. That's him. Now, I guess this was a person they brought on to help with the masculinity issue because Kamala was not appealing to men. Kamala does not appeal to men. So the whole thing was, okay, let's bring on the football coach. Go get him, coach. what they showed in the ad with the LGBT actors and then the whole go get 'em coach thing, that's what they think about men. I think we just knuckle dragging mouth breathers who don't have an intelligent thought in their minds. All we do is just do Stone Cold Steve Austin with the beer and watch football, and that's it. That's what they think about men. They think they were just inferior and unsophisticated, which is not the case. And as long as they keep going down that road, they're going to keep hemorrhaging those votes. And that's fine for me. I don't really mind it. I think it's okay that they hemorrhage votes that way. I encourage them to keep doing it, keep making these ads. And Tim, keep doing those ads. That works just fine for us. Now, here he is talking about, look, don't worry about how Kamala and Joe are different. Just vote because she's not Trump. Watch this.
And right now, the difference between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden is not what they need to be concerned with. They need to be concerned with a Donald Trump who has said he would be dictator on day one. And right now, the difference between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden is not what they need to be concerned with.
Look, don't worry about how Kamala and Joe are different. That shouldn't concern you. All you got to worry about is that Kamala is not Trump. So go out there and vote Kamala. That's what he's saying right here. Again, not a very good way to convince me to vote for your side, sir. You can't just chastise me and try to scare me into voting. Give me something. Give me a good reason. Give me your real good elevator pitch. 30 seconds. Why should I vote for you? And in your 30-second speech, don't mention anyone else other than her. Why would I want to vote for her? For what? How is she going to be different than Joe Biden? How? Kamala is not part of the administration in the sense of her actually contributing anything. All she does is take orders. She is an employee. That's all. She's not a leader. So why would I want her to be a leader in my country? It makes no sense. Now, here we have Meghan McCain exposing Kamala because Kamala told a story about John McCain. He dead, R.I.P. Now, let me know if you think Kamala is being truthful or if Meghan is being truthful with her opinion.
Late into the night, and in the Senate, you walk onto the Senate floor, and there are these big wooden ornate doors, and those ornate doors opened, and John McCain came out. He's going after me. And I'm going back after him. I'm going back after him. And that was it. And this is what the public saw. And then I step onto the floor of the well of the Senate later that day. We had votes. And I passed by John McCain. And he looks at me and he says, "Kid, come over here. You're going to make a great senator."
Do y'all believe that? Are y'all buying it? Are y'all really, really buying it? Because I'm not. Let's continue.
True story.
I'm not thrilled with this because I just find that maybe it did happen. To me, it doesn't sound like him. And I tweeted after I saw it that I'm really just, for me personally, on a personal level, Democrats really want to turn my dad into a progressive liberal that 6 years after his death, he's now just the most liberal progressive that ever existed when he's one of the most conservative senators in American modern history. It's getting to the point of being disrespectful the way everyone is talking about him, because I find so much of it, it just doesn't sound like him. And
now look, John McCain, according to his voting record, was very conservative as a senator. But the thing is, he was also a big-time globalist. Bomb, 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 Iran. That was his saying. He was like a Mitt Romney kind of person. And Mitt Romney, you could say Mitt Romney is a conservative from his record, but at the same time, a big globalist. So much so that he's willing to vote for the other side to prevent Trump from coming in because Trump is an anti-globalist. So let's keep that perspective. The reason why they're trying to claim him, the reason why the left wants to claim John McCain is because the left have been consumed by globalism on a federal level, especially.
And we were obviously incredibly close, and I worked with him both professionally and, we were very close personally. And it's hard. I don't like it. And I I remember what he actually said about Vice President Harris in private. I actually was like remembering a specific dinner party was something he said, which I don't want to be disrespectful or uncouth and share it right here.
Look, Megan, you got to share it. You can't just, I hate when people do that. Tell me something. Well, I got a secret, but I don't want to. Nah, tell me the secret. And now we're going to find out. At this point, the internet is undefeated. Reddit, all these people, they're going to get to the bottom of the situation.
But
and that was also kind of a threat. That was a threat, in my opinion. The threat was, hey, Kamala, if you keep talking out of your mouth about my dad, I'm going to reveal what he really said about you. So this is a warning. That's what I got from that. What do y'all think? Was that a threat, a warning, a promise? Y'all let me know.
Like, it just sounds like not real to me.
I'll ask you a question about it. You can pass, of course. Is what she said in characterizing what she claimed was a conversation with your dad, he said you make a great senator, is that consistent with your sense of what he thought of her?
No, not at all. And there's one thing in particular, there's one dinner that I was at with him and some other politicians I can remember very specifically something he said about her. And again, I don't want to like get into some kind of match with the Harris campaign, but I just like, he was not a Democrat. He was so far from it. And her stance on Israel alone would gross him out. So like, I just, and Afghanistan and the economy and the border, like and I also think it's just very strange that like Democrats can't get any other way to prove their bipartisan like bona fides other than bringing up a dead senator. Like, have you done nothing else in your life? You have this like obscure story that I've never heard her say. I've never heard, period. Maybe it did happen. Maybe it didn't. I didn't work with him all the time. But like,
that's a good question. It's like, what are your life accomplishments, Kamala Harris? What have you done in your life? Okay, you have had jobs. You've been a senator and attorney general. Okay, but what have you done? Like, what are you going to hang your hat on at age 60? You're not a young person. You're 60 years old. What have you done in your life? That's a good question from Meghan McCain. So, yeah, she's not believing the story. I don't really believe it either. I don't really believe it. Now, I don't know when this video came out, but is this sign language? If anyone knows ASL, American Sign Language, if anyone knows what she's doing here, y'all please let me know. And again, I don't know when this video was recorded. It may or may not be recent.
I support ending language deprivation for deaf children.
Okay, so for some reason we have Kamala doing ASL. Alrighty. Now, I feel like if you don't know ASL fluently and you kind of stuttering with it, maybe you really shouldn't do that. Okay. I know a few words of Spanish, but I'm not gonna come in here and talk about I know Spanish and it's broken at best. Okay. All I know is yo hablo inglés, and that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna stick to my Inglés. So was that right? Was that proper? I don't know. I'm an ignorant person when it comes to ASL. Y'all let me know. All right. Somebody said she's nuts. Yeah, pretty much. And look at that face. Is that who you want to be your president? Is that who you want to be the president right there? I should hope not. I should hope not. Yeah. All right. Lisa says it was not fluid. She practiced that. Yeah, of course. Of course. All right, let's keep on going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty, let's go right here. Wow, we got a few things going on. We got a few things. I'm gonna get back to Kamala in a second. Have you guys seen the Robovan? The Robovan. This is what Elon calls the new vehicle right here. I think it's like an automated type of Uber, a taxi system. The Robovan.
What happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than the You were voted.
The Tesla van!
This is we're going to make this, and it's going to look like that.
Oh my gosh! Of course they're going to make this.
And you see this coming toward you. That was sick.
Okay, nice sitting area.
And it can also transport goods. So you can configure it for goods transport within a city or.
So yeah, this is the Robovan. Robovan really is how it's spelled. Robovan, but he calls it Robovan. Get it? So how about that? Would you want to be in one of those? It's like a bus, basically like a smaller bus, and it's going to be automated. What do y'all think? You're going to get in one if the Robovan pulled up to your house? And then my thing is, okay, how is that really going to work? If it's like a bus with people in it, it's not just your car. So when you call it, it's going to be a whole bus to pull up to your house with people in it. I'm not quite sure I like that. And I definitely do not like electric vehicles at all. If you have an EV, shout out to you. Hey, if you like it, I love it, but not for real. But it's just not for me. I need internal combustion engine. That includes me driving the vehicle and riding in one. I ride in one for a little while. If you got a Tesla or something, I ride in it for a little while, but I ain't really trying to have that be my everyday thing. Okay. They said they reinvented the trolley. Exactly. They reinvented the trolley. That's crazy. Yeah, a trolley with no trolley. That's a good observation. Now we have the robot, the Optimus robot. Now we got rapper 2 Chainz interacting with the robot, having the conversation, but apparently this is all remote controlled, so it's not like AI really talking at you. But eventually it could be. Check it out.
Chainz, how you doing?
What's up?
Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
I'm Optimus.
Okay. My name is Tony.
Tony?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Tony.
Nice to meet you too, buddy. Hey, can you
Awesome.
can you play basketball? Can you shoot like jump shots?
Maybe one day.
I'll teach
Can
you.
you?
I'll teach you.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
man.
you, Tony.
Thank you, brother.
Much appreciated.
All right, man. You like Balenciaga? I got an outfit for you.
Really?
Yeah, I got an outfit for you.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm about to order you. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna order you, and then I'll see you in another couple months. Okay. 2 Chainz.
So this is the beginning stages of it. Obviously, it's just in the infancy. Now, when they really get it cracking, man, I don't know. They got to put some kind of limiter, something on it. I don't know, because what I see right here is Terminator. I'm seeing Skynet. I'm seeing iRobot. I'm seeing The Matrix. I'm seeing all of that at the very infant stages. Okay, that's what I see. Now, it's an actual robot. It's not somebody in a robotic outfit. That's a robot, and they say it's remote controlled. So somebody like that's able to kind of maneuver it. I'm not really sure how the responses are, if it's machine learning or whatever. But yeah, this is the very beginning stages of it, and eventually they're going to be autonomous to a certain extent, and that might be a problem. Hopefully, again, they find a way to limit it, but that's what's going on right now. So shout out to Elon. Oh, we got a little bit of inflation news. Okay, hood inflation news. Let's go to Memphis.
I know damn well these chips ain't no goddamn dollar.
Now, before we go any further, because there's going to be some cussing and stuff. Now, you got these small bags of chips. I can't tell how many chips are in there. You might got 10 chips in that bag. Small little bags of chips, Doritos, Fritos, Cheetos, or whatever. They're usually 25 cents, if I'm not mistaken, but now they're $1.
These 50-cent bags,
Okay, 50 cents normally. 50-cent bags, but now they're $1.
I'm at $1, cuz.
So that is what, 100% increase?
What the?
100% increase. And that's just one little small sign of inflation, but it's a big sign. although it's not a big dollar amount, it is a big jump from 50 cents to $1, 100% increase. And you're going to see that same thing go on all over the place. Now, I don't know what kind of hood store you're in, but I've not seen a bag of 25 cent or 50 cent chips since I've been a little boy. When I was a kid, even when I was a little kid, listen, when I was a little kid in elementary school, to get a cookie, like the main thing you want to get in school is a cookie and a coolie. That was like your sugary snacks, sweet stuff that you would get with lunch. And the way we had it, we had a regular line and what they call a snack line. You go to the snack line for the special stuff, the cookies and whatnot. A cookie, a flat chocolate chip cookie that was not that big. It was paper thin. That back then was 40 cents in the early, when was this? When that was going on? The cookies. That might have been high school, actually. Or middle school. I can't remember. Definitely high school. It was 40 cents, 1998. So I don't know what kind of hood place you in where you were able to get 50 cent bags of chips, but ain't no more of that going on. Ain't no more of that. And guess what? The hood places is where inflation hits the worst, but they will say that they are looking out for the small guy, for black people, all this, that, and the third. I can't tell. Hold on. 8-Bit only says those chips were $1 in Cali or 5 years ago. And depending on what brand, they could be as much as $2.50 a bag.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Now look how small the bags are. Look at my man's hand. Look how small these chips are. There might be a grand total, once you get past the air and the container itself, there might be 12 chips in this bag. And you guys got to pay $2.50 for 12 chips? I would never. I'd rather would just not ever eat chips again. Just because I don't want to pay that kind of money. And it ain't going to happen. But yeah, a cookie was 40 cents. I think a coolie might have been 25, or it might have also been 40 cents. I mean, by the time you get down in the snack line, you paying $1, a straight up $1. If you would go to the snack line, you were rich. You had money. I was always an entrepreneur. What I would do is I would sell gum. I had, back in the day, the 25 cent packs of gum. You would have 5 sticks of gum in a 25 cent pack. I would sell each stick for 10 cents. So off of one pack, I double up. You see what I'm saying? And I would use that money to go to the snack line. That's how I used to do my little thing when I was like 14, 15. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, we got to get to Magic Johnson. What kind of name is that, actually? Now as an adult, Magic Johnson, that's your name? Anyway, what kind of weird stuff? So here he is trying to convince black men to vote Kamala.
Now,
check him out.
There's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
So first, okay, we'll Magic Johnson out there and tell him to try and chastise a black man. Like, and they're saying that specifically, black men, y'all gotta go and vote Kamala. How about not? How about not, sir? I don't want to hear nothing from you and your Transformer 6'8" son. I don't want to hear nothing. Your son dresses like a strong black woman. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Okay? Now let's go to Barry, the full version. Let's go to Barry. Oh my goodness. Barry. You done it now. You done it.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you.
So this is like, okay, there's so much I want to say right now. There's a lot I want to say right now. First things first. This is supposed to be upset dad scolding his children. But guess what, though? I'm a grown man just like you. You're not my father. And even if my dad was here, he would know not to try to scold me like this. Don't nobody talk to me like this. We talk to each other like we got respect for each other. Okay? I respect you, you respect me. That's how I operate with adults. And I lead with respect. I never disrespect anybody. I lead with respect. You're not going to chastise me and all this and that. You're not going to do it. Okay? And then second of all, sir, she did not grow up like us. Okay. First of all, you got parents that are like super successful. Your dad, PhD, your mom is doing well. You're moving all over the country. Your mom is Indian, straight from the Indian subcontinent, Southern India. And then your dad is from Jamaica, at best, black and white, biracial at best, but probably Indian and white. Your lifestyle was not the same as ours. You were in Canada in formative years in your life, from middle school to college. You went to your first year of college in Canada. You're pretty much a French Canadian in Montreal. Then you come to the U.S. to get blackified at Howard after you already went to a French college for a year, a French Canadian college for a year. Then you came to the States and tried to become more black. That's what you did. And throughout your career, you've just been going and social climbing. You were a sugar baby at first with a married man, 30 years older than you. That's how you got into politics. I did not grow up like that. I did not live like that. Kamala has nothing in common with the average American, quite frankly, and definitely not the average black American. But I'm triggered, so let me go ahead and digress.
Understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes.
Struggles, pain, and joy. What struggles and pain did she go through? Huh? And then joy, you got to say that because that's part of their whole campaign. Barack Obama is one of the best actors that I've seen perform. This is all a performance. He's pretending to be this concerned black dad. He's pretending to be that. On the inside, he is not black. On the inside, he is not a person that is from here. He's not culturally part of us. He came here as an adult and then learned how to behave like us on the outside to be a good politician. That's who Barack Obama is. I see him like that, and such, I don't respect him at all. I acknowledge that he's a good actor. I acknowledge that he is smooth with his words. But I don't respect him as a person because I know that it's all fake. I know that this is not him. And I definitely don't want this man to try to chastise me. I don't want that.
From those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more.
And I hate that so much. The work harder and do more. And I apologize for the constant pausing, but I'm so triggered here, I can't even contain it. The work harder and do more thing. This is a thing that he was not taught growing up. Who taught you that? This is a Black American thing that we hear, right? I'm going to get into that in a minute. But who taught you that, Mr. Barack Obama? You lived the first half of your life in Indonesia with your Indonesian stepfather, Lolo, and your white mother. Who told you about work hard, all this and that, and the third from that point of view? Then you went to Hawaii with your white grandparents. Where did you have this Black American experience as a child? You learned some of these things you're talking about right now when you were already in your 20s and 30s. Not like us when we were 5 years old hearing this stuff. And furthermore, this whole thing about working harder and the trope we hear from Black parents is you got to work twice as hard to get half as much as a white person. I hate that so much. It's a defeatist mentality. It's a victim mentality. And what ends up happening is people just don't really aspire for greatness. They don't aspire for more. They're content with living in poverty. They're content with being uneducated. They're content with voting for Kamala just because she's Black, just because I think that she's oppressed, because she's like me in my mind. I'm going to vote for her because, hey, you're a Black person. You got to work twice as hard. I hate that so much. You're in America. You already succeeded just from that alone. If you choose to do nothing but smoke crack all day, that's your fault. That's your fault. If you choose to not be ambitious, if you choose to not get education, if you choose to not advance your skills and get practical skills, that's your fault. Not the white man or anybody else. And you know what happens? Here comes the Nigerians. Here comes the Jamaicans. Here comes the Haitians. They come over here, no money, no culture, no education. They got culture, but they're not part of American culture. They come over here. They don't know about American culture. No education or limited education, and then they grind, they go hard, and then they get money, they succeed. We get upset, we get jealous, but ultimately we here first. We got first dibs. If we don't want the migrants here, we got to vote for those who are not going to bring them here. If we don't want them coming to our communities, we got to vote for those who don't bring them here. This man got me really offended, really triggered, but I'm going to let him finish.
And overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act. So,
Obama, listen though, you know what? Your luster you had, the glow you had. Your presidency was groundbreaking in 2008. All the hype behind you was groundbreaking in 2008. You are loved by many in the community, foolishly so in my opinion, but that's not for me to really judge right now. You're loved by many in the community. But what you don't understand is that Kamala is not you. What's happening right here? Let me tell you what's happening. Kamala is polling at 78% among Black voters. Obama was at like 95, 92 at the lowest. Joe Biden was 92% among Black voters in 2020. Why? Why was Joe Biden so high with Black voters and why is Kamala so low? It's easy to understand. Joe Biden was Barack Obama's vice president. So he is seen as an extension of Barack Obama. But Kamala Harris, we don't know this lady. She's not a black person. This is not a person who is connected to Obama, really. So people are not enthusiastic, and they don't like what's happening right now with the country, with the migrants and everything else. So they're voting differently. They're thinking differently. That's why they don't want to support Kamala Barack. And the problem is, since Joe is at 92, or was like in 2020, 92%, Obama 95%, 92%, the Democrats expect that from us in the black community. Because if they don't get it, they can't win really these big elections that are close. So they sent this guy and they sent Magic to chastise us like disappointed dads. Go out there and vote, brothers, black men. The black women, they're going to be on code. They're going to do whatever. They do what we say do. But you black men, too independent, too forward thinking, too logical, throw logic away and just vote for that lady.
Everybody's got help here and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? I'm not. But, you know, Cousin Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons.
Cousin Pookie, okay.
And excuses.
But for real though, but you know, Obama, look, check it out. One thing that I would like from you is a good elevator pitch, 30 seconds. Why should I vote for Kamala? You're not giving me reasons really to vote for her. You're just trying to shame me and make me feel bad, but it ain't going to work. My heart made of stone. I don't care nothing about no feelings at all. I have zero feelings when it comes to this decision. My feelings are not involved at all. It's all up here. That's it.
I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
So what though? Why is that a problem? So what? I'm a bad person if I don't want a woman to be the president? So what? And what are you going to do if I don't want to do that for that reason? What you going to do? You going to lock me up or something? I think not. So what? No, I don't want to vote for her because she's a woman. All right. And now what? Why should I change my mind? Is it going to be enough to try and shame me and embarrass me for my position? Or is the right thing to do, is a smart thing to do, you got to try to convince me to think differently.
And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
Man, look, I don't care about her being a woman. I don't care. Look, her being a woman is not the deciding factor. It could be part of it, but it doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, she's not good to be the president. There might be somebody in your life that you love dearly, that they're a great person, but you know they're not suited to be the president. Just because they're a great person doesn't mean they should be the president. That's it. It's simple.
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting.
So when you get deleted as a black man, what happens is the black women come out and fundraise off of your body and they go out and buy a bunch of mansions. Wasn't that Black Lives Matter? Isn't that what they did? Wasn't that 3 black women, black lesbian Marxists? Isn't that what they do? So you're talking about that crowd of people. Why would I want to hang my hat on that as an accomplishment? Why is it a positive thing? Why is it a positive thing for people to gather like scavengers around the dead black man's body to fundraise? Why is that a good thing, Mr. Barack Obama? Come on, man. Like, you're trying to give me reasons to vote Kamala, but you're not doing a very good job. All that I hear right now is, hey, when you die, if you get deleted by a white man, then a black woman could get a house from that. Somebody that's not even your grandmama, just a random person, can capitalize off of your death. That's what I hear.
And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
Give me an example. Just one.
Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because that's what being a man is? Putting women down? That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
All right, so that's that. That is your man, Mr. Barack Obama, just chastising black men and saying, hey, this is why you got to go out there and vote Kamala. But it's just a bunch of finger pointing and stuff like this. It's not anything that really hit home. It didn't really hit home at all. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, speaking about black men and Kamala and not wanting to vote for her, let's get to some real reasons. All I heard right there was a bunch of gobbledygook. Gobbledygook at best. Now, I found the video from my man, the TikToker. Can I maximize this or nah? Let me see if I can. All right, I guess that'll work right there. Let's go ahead and watch this.
Kamala or Trump? Trump?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Kamala till it's backwards, bro.
Man, what are you Kamala, we voting for Trump, bro. What are you talking about? You know damn well we don't Kamala.
Why?
Trump.
Why, bro?
Give out free spins and everything. You tweaking.
Yeah, that's how you feel.
Do us. You tweaking.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I vote Kamala.
Man, we you and Kamala.
Come on, bro. I can't even have my opinion.
Hey, F you and Kamala. We're not doing that around here.
Damn, bro.
And again, this is in Chicago.
You voting for you, so you with that all them Venezuelans? You with all that goofy?
Yeah.
Nah.
So you with all the Venezuelans, all the goofy stuff, and he's not with it.
Ain't no that's why I shit up with you.
Damn, bro. I can't even have my opinion on something.
No, not her.
Yeah.
Not her. She bad for the community in the world.
Yeah.
Vote for Trump, gang.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. No. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, look, can I touch your skin?
You said what?
Can I touch your skin?
Get your gay.
Hey, don't come on, bro. Nah, bro, no Diddy.
Bro, what?
No Diddy.
I'm finna.
So part of this guy's content, the shop clerk, is just like messing with people and recording it, putting it online. But one thing that he was doing was asking, "Hey, how do y'all guys feel? Who we got? Trump, Kamala, etc." Now, I had another video that was like a full version, like a compilation. I think Chad Jackson that posted that, but I think maybe they had deleted it.
Yeah, you Arabs just be on that racist. That's what it is.
All right, do I have one more? I think I might have been it. I think that might have been it right there. But yeah, there was quite a few of those. People were not liking. They were not liking Kamala in there. They were all for Trump. A lot of black folks in the hood. Now, what I want is for Mr. Barack Obama to go down there and then give that same speech he gave to them right there in the community. Because you're from Chicago, right, Mr. Barack Obama? You're from there, allegedly. So go out there to the people and have that conversation. And the clip we just showed, he was at a campaign stop in Pittsburgh. Go to Chicago. Go right there to that same corner store where the guy was at. Go there and explain yourself. Or matter of fact, how about this? Kamala should go down to that same corner store and talk to people And don't let it be people that are brought in by a bus. Don't let it be political operatives like we had in that video in the beginning, because that one guy, the Nigerian guy from the Men for Harris commercial, that guy had already met with the Obamas and the Bidens. So he was a whole operative in there. Don't bring operatives to the situation. Talk to the real people on the ground. That's what I want to see. And then if you could do that, we got something going on. Now, here's another video of this poor young lady. And this person represents a lot of people you may see in your everyday life. They're going to argue you down about how much they hate Trump and how much Trump is a bad person. But when you get down to the bottom of it, they don't even know why. They're just doing what they have been programmed to do. All right, check it out.
Kamala.
Why are you voting for Kamala?
Because Trump fucking sucks. Because she's trying to make the world a lot cheaper to live in. The amount of money that costs to just do anything keeps increasing so much.
So do you think that's Biden and Kamala's fault?
I think that's always been happening. How much things have cost has always been like increasing.
So you think Kamala's going to fix it even though she's already been VP for 4 years?
What did Trump do?
I think he fixed it.
Did he?
Yeah, I think the economy was way better. Houses were cheaper, rent was cheaper, grocery prices were cheaper. What is Kamala's greatest achievement as VP?
I literally don't know. I have no idea.
You don't know anything she's done.
No, I don't.
But she's still the better choice.
Yes, because I know a lot of things that he has done.
Like, you know a lot of things about Trump that are negative?
Yeah. He's racist. He's sexist.
Okay, well, what has he done that's racist?
Specifically, I don't watch anything with Trump in it. I just see, like, I don't watch things politically.
So you just have an opinion, but you don't really know why?
Yeah.
Trump or Kamala?
You have an opinion, you don't know why. Yeah, pretty much. And that's the average person, which I know how it goes. When you ask that question to the regular, everyday normie out there, they're going to get triggered, they're going to get butthurt, and they're going to want to crash out on you. That's usually how they go. They're going to want to crash out on you because they're embarrassed that they don't know anything, and they feel like you're trying to show them up. So rather than being shown up by you, they'll just crash out on you. That's how that'll go. All right. But yeah, shout out to my man for doing the interview. And shout out to her for being real, because a lot of people don't really want to be real.
How's Joe Biden?
All right, we got another video right here. This is an older one from Jesse Waters, I think, in Chicago again.
Been doing?
He's too old.
How's Joe Biden been doing? This is from the summertime.
How's Joe Biden doing?
He's too old. Sorry. But everybody elected him, so that's your fault.
And you ain't black.
He's sitting there lying to people.
And you ain't black.
He's the worst president that we ever had.
And you ain't black.
Joe Biden, please go back to Delaware, because New York City, you have no idea what we need.
And you ain't black.
He's a slimy mother, you know?
I thought it was Chicago, but I guess it's New York instead.
He take you out to lunch and stick the fork up your ass right after.
Who do you want to win the 2024 election, Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. I want Donald Trump.
And you ain't black.
Trump.
That happens to be me, in case you forget.
When he was in, it was no crime. Crime was down.
Uncle Donald. No cap. That's a nice guy.
And you ain't black.
Trump is straight up and down, like 6 o'clock. At least I know what I get when it comes to him.
Now, this, and they kind of annoy me with the you ain't black. Okay, I get okay, it was funny, but I got it. But this is what's going on in the street. Now, the key issue would be, okay, are we going to get people to come out and vote? What's going to happen is two things. The first thing is you're going to see a swing in the vote toward Republican from the black community, but more than anything, you're going to get people that don't vote. Now, I wish that those who refuse to vote would vote, but I'm here to argue this. I think it's better that people who could vote for Kamala did not vote at all instead of voting for Kamala. If I had to pick between the two of voting for Kamala or not voting, I'm going to pick not voting, although I would prefer that you go out there and vote for Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying? But beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. I want you to go out there and vote at an 80% rate for Donald Trump, but I know that's not realistic. What's going to happen is you got a lot of disenchanted and demoralize people that are going to stay home, people that are still afraid to vote for Donald Trump because of social pressure, stuff like this dude, Barack Obama, getting on TV. Listen, I'm not letting no man lecture me about anything. Nah, man, if you want to convince me of something, then do a good job of convincing me. Don't try to approach with an emotional angle. Give me some real facts. Give me some real figures. Give me some links. Give me something. It can't just be, oh, because she black and then she's not black. And even if she was, it wouldn't be enough. We need more than the skin color right now in 2024. The skin color ain't going to do it. All right. What else you got going on? Why should I vote for you? What's really happening? All right. Do I have more? I think that's pretty much everything. I got two more. I'm gonna look up someone to show right quick.
As though it is a sign of weakness to have empathy. In the Senate, well, it was late into the night, and in the Senate, you walk onto the Senate floor, and there are these big wooden ornate doors.
Oh, that's the whole McCain story. We can just skip past that one.
So when we think about what's at stake in this election, whoa, it's packed with some stuff. It's packed with some fundamental stuff.
It's packed with stuff. Okay, what stuff is this? Like a piñata or something like that? What are we talking about? But at least in the piñata, I get candy and whatnot. I'm not sure what I get with you. What's stuffed in your election? I'm not sure what I get, but I know that I don't want it.
I say rather articulately.
I mean, who in their right mind would vote for this lady? Seriously, if you know what they said, well, they say now that Kamala's getting curb stomped in the polls, but they said when she first threw her name in the ring, when she first basically assumed the nomination, although she was not voted for in the primary, but when she first assumed the nomination, she was, they said, leading Trump. I'm not quite sure I believe that. That's what they said. But now they say that she's getting beat and it's not even close, because what happened is that people who have not seen her before, who have not really seen her talk because they've been hiding her, now people are seeing her. They saw her on a debate stage. They see her give these interviews, these fake interviews. I mean, were they changing the answers? Did I already show that? Where they changed the answer on the interview? I mean, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen, where they literally just said, okay, let's just change the answer. We put our answer out there on the interview, and we don't like the way that the audience responded. So we're going to put out the better version of the same answer to get a better response. I've never in my life seen such a thing. That's what they did. And we see that. We can see you. We saw the first one and we see the second one. It's on the internet. We got it on our phones. It's right there in front of us. So, like, what's really going on? When we see stuff like that, when we see her struggling to speak and string some words together, when we see her cackling and laughing for no reason, when we see the goofy behavior, we're like, you know what? Okay, we're not even really going to do this. We're not going to have this whole thing happen. I'm going to play that right quick, and then I'll move on. If you guys didn't see it last time, I'm going to play it one more time. Then we get to the super chats and the calls. Remember, this was the 60 Minutes interview from Sunday. I played it before. I'm going to play it again before we get to everything else. This is that interview. Now, one version of this aired, I believe it was online, and they played one answer. And I remember watching the first answer. I was like, that was word salad. So then when they got the feedback from us, I suppose, about how bad the response was, they put out a different response. Like, okay, you guys didn't like that. Here's another one. Watch this.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it's
like, what was that answer? Like, complete word salad. And this next answer is not that much better, actually.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it's
so that was the new and improved. It has changed the answer. This is an interview with 60 Minutes. The mainstream media is so bad. Like, we've been saying how bad the media is for a long time. But that right there, that's a new low. Literal propaganda right in front of our face. We've been saying it for a long time. When we say fake news, fake media, left media, when we say that, then we're conspiracy theorists, right? That's what they want to say. We're conspiracy theorists for saying that. But when they do stuff like that and right in front of our face, what can they say then? What can they say then? Oh, the editing was crazy. The editing for this was out of control. Like I said before, when she went and did that first interview with Tampon Tim at CNN in Atlanta, what they did was have her speak for a total of 18 minutes in this interview, but they were there at CNN studios in downtown Atlanta for 6 hours. The motorcade was there for 6 hours filming this. So they're just rehearsing and practicing over and over again. And you can't do that when you're actually out there as a leader, as the president. When you are in front of people and they're asking you questions, there's no earpiece. Like, you got to be quick on your feet. You can't be doing all this extra stuff. But hey, that's what's going on right now. And again, Obama, that is part of the reason why we don't want to vote for Kamala. It's simple. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. We got super chats on deck. I'm going to read these right quick, and then I'm going to get to the calls. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says Obama is Bush's cousin, so is Bill Clinton. Shout out to Smooth Artist, who says Barack Obama had a GAY lover. Can I say gay on the internet? I guess I did anyway. Thank you to John Miller, who says you want to make a bet to see if Portland riots when Trump wins the election. Hey, that might be a bet. I might take you up on that one. Thank you to Big Al Uncle Coon, who says, okay, big bro ABL, we appreciate what you do, bro. Let's roll, big dog. Bust them up. Shout out to you, boss. I appreciate you. Thank you to Double Nichols, who gifted 5 ABL memberships. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, every time you see a Harris Waltz sign in the yard business, just remember they voted for Biden, inflation, migrants overrunning our cities, and high crime rates. Thank them and send the migrants to them. Shout out to Michael Guest again, who says, keep posting your Harris president signs. Thank you to Justin Cameron, who says, they ask what we're going to do about construction labor after deporting migrants. The answer is there's always going to be a lot of job offerings with competitive wages for real Americans. Exactly. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says Trump put up 270 linemen in his hotel waiting for the hurricane out of his own pocket. What's her problem? Good question. F Ranger Xbox says Obama repealed the Munt-Smith Act, making it legal for the media to lie and be used for government propaganda. Thank you to Smooth Artist, who says behaving straight dookie breath or having. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says Detroit is a crap hole. Justin Cameron says, what is a full-throated endorsement? They try so hard to pretend to be a straight man, but can't play the part. Shout out to Smooth Artist, who says, Tim, go get him, coach. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to Ron Henderson, who says, be very, very quiet. I'm sneaking up on a rabbit. Oh, that's the Elmer Fudd situation. Shout out to Michael Guest, who says, that was Master Sergeant, question mark. Yeah. Good question. Shout out to Smooth Artist, who says McCain must have slept. I ain't gonna say that part, but shout out to you. Thank you to Lisa Lister for the emoji donation. I appreciate you. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says Barack Obama is nothing but a smooth criminal. That, hey, very well said. Shout out Mike, RIP Mike. Thank you to Jalapeno Ketchup, who says I brought a bag of Fritos for the first time in 5 years. They are totally different now. Very tiny and very thin and too fragile to even scoop bean dip. Not worth it. Hey, that's that shrinkflation. They're giving you a lot less product, much smaller size product for the same price. Lower quality, smaller for the same price or higher. That's shrinkflation all day long. Thank you to Liam Mazina for being a member and also saying, would these liberals vote for Candace Owens for president if she ran? No. All of a sudden, then it becomes about policy. But about anybody else, they don't even care about policy. People could talk about things that they have heard from Candace, things that Candace has done when her name gets brought up. But they don't talk about any of Kamala's track record, things that she has done when they bring her name up. It's so anti-intellectual. I hate it. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says Barack Obama is a Drake of politics, not like us. Thank you to the Forgotten Pittsburgher, who says Obama can consider himself forgotten from our city. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says Democrats have had the presidency 12 out of the last 16 years. So how's everything Trump's fault? Exactly. Thank you to Howie Brown, who says thank you with the emoji. Shout out to you. Thank you to Outlander, who says supporting freedom of speech. I appreciate you for your contribution. All righty, we got calls on deck. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's a Skype email in the box. You could be right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man because it ain't my fault. Y'all know how I do. All righty. But let's go ahead and get cracking, rocking, and rolling. The number to call, 434-658-1220. And again, the email is in the description if you want to be right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Also, this is an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, 8 a.m. Eastern time on tomorrow morning, which would be Sunday. So check it out. Links in the box, or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Let me get the sound together and we'll get to the calls. All righty, there we go. Perfect. 409, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Colin from League City, Texas. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for asking. So the reason I was calling today, I'm not going to name drop anything or, do anything incriminating or anything like that, but I wanted to talk some P. Diddy news. So recently, Houston-based lawyer Tony Busby went on TMZ and revealed that some of these powerful people were involved in the scandal have already been given the opportunity to basically settle and keep their name hidden from the media for like a cash settlement, basically. And I was very upset when I heard this news because on one hand, I get it. Like Tony Busby, he's trying to do right by his clients, but isn't giving these powerful people the option to just settle with a cash settlement protecting the very institution that allowed this sort of corruption to take place in the first place?
Well, they don't really care about that. I think, in my opinion, that the Tony Busby thing is all about money. It's all about money. So that's the goal. So if they get a settlement, then that's the mission accomplished from their point of view. They don't care about any of what you said. I mean, what you said is valid, but that, in my opinion, was not the motivating factor behind any of this from Tony Busby's point of view. It's all about getting that money because, out of all the allegations and whatnot, there's not anything criminal from his point of view. It's just trying to get that bag of money.
Yeah, no, I feel that, man. I know money talks, but I think Tony Busby's missing a prime opportunity to make the world a better place by exposing this corruption rather than taking a paycheck. The dude's already worth like $20 million. I mean, at some point in time, you got to take a stand for something that matters, like my boy Elon Musk,
Yeah, I hear you.
But that's all I had to say, man. I appreciate you taking my call, and God bless you, and have a good night, man.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, Tony Busby just trying to get some money, man. Ambulance chaser at best. That was crazy. The big step and repeat in the background with a big 1-800 number on it in red, right behind his head. It's like, Doc, you're not even really trying to hide it. All right, let's keep on going. Let's go to 208. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Tom. Great show tonight, man. And just wanted to tell you, I really appreciate you sharing that clip at the end there because I had missed it about them swapping out the answers. So good job on that. I'm sure there's other people that hadn't seen that either. Just more crookedness.
Absolutely, man. No problem.
Also, I wanted to tell you that I watched that clip of Tampon Tim, as you call him, trying to eject a slug out of that shotgun. And I tell you, I had flashbacks to Dick Cheney and his bird hunting days. So there's no way I would go in a field with that man.
Yeah, not at all, because I don't want to be on the receiving end of that. I'm not trying to get shot in my head and then go on TV and apologize because I got shot. So, yeah, that's not really my cup of tea.
Exactly. And one last thing, and I'll let you go. I got to tell you, we were all standing here laughing while we were listening to you get triggered. One of my buddies told me, he said, I like it when ABL gets triggered. He lets loose then. So good job. Very enjoyable show. And keep up the good work, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You got it. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller, great caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to 276 on the line. Who am I speaking to? All right. I don't know what happened right there. Let's get it. Let's get it together, man. Groaning and stuff. Okay. 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, how are you, sir?
It's all good. What's happening?
Yeah, I just want to say that the whole bottom line of what this whole thing is, and I think everyone's seeing it, is that all that's happened is after Biden blew the debate against Trump, the truth about him came out, his age catching up with him apparently. That what they've done is when they took him out, they put in Kamala Harris. All they did was change the wrapping paper on the package, but the contents of that package are still the same. And we're just going to get more of what we've been getting. There's a bottom line to it. There it is.
Oh, right on. And because the thing is, Kamala nor Biden were in control. Those who are behind the scenes give them their marching orders. They probably get our itinerary at the beginning of the day. You're going to do this, this, and this. And they don't have any power at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just wanted to say, too, that remember, I think, was it on The View or somewhere she said, well, what would you do when she was asked what would you do differently than what Biden did? And she said she wouldn't do anything differently. I mean, I think that's the most honest answer she ever gave.
Yeah, it's
right there.
Very, very honest answer, but a very troubling answer it should be to the American people, because it's like, have you enjoyed your past 3.5 years? I don't think so. So why would you want more of the same?
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to speak about Obama too, and of course, the one point where he's trying to shame black men apparently. Is that, he was mentioning, quote, yes, in our neighborhoods. You live in Martha's Vineyard? What is that, a project?
Exactly.
And I don't think Magic Johnson lives in a project either. I mean, my gosh, they think a similar pigmentation puts them in touch?
It is pretty much they pretty much say anything that they think will work. It doesn't matter if it's true or anywhere close to being true. They just say it.
Yeah. Well, to quote Barack Obama's former pastor, his home right now is, among, quote, rich white people.
Well, there it is.
And that's what it is. And I think, too, one reason why is Kamala Harris is going down the polls. And I think now I heard a statistic that for the first time in 30 years, I think it might have been Gallup, or a couple of polls have shown that there are more registered Republican voters than Democrat voters for the first time in 30 years, or at least people identifying between the parties. I think one of the reasons why is that they're just tired of this phoniness, and basically that's what it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People are just tired. They had enough, and people are smarter than what they get credit for. They know what's going on. They're able to make adjustments, and that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, I know you got 10 million and one callers behind you, so I'm going to let you go, and just wish you a good night, and keep carrying on, keep doing this great service for humanity you're doing.
Well,
God bless you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Sure.
All right, shout out to the caller. I really, really appreciate him. Let's go to 818. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. So last time I called in, I talked to you about illegal immigration and then having to deal with the government thinks Americans are too dumb or they're too lazy. And I wanted to go off on what you were talking about earlier about illegal immigrants getting less pay. Now, if you remember, I said I work in tech now, and I know that because I was laid off from my previous position. I do have a job now, but before I got into tech, I also worked in restaurants and I worked in construction. My entire family did asphalt. Now, a lot of people say that they get some ridiculous lower amount. I have to tell you, usually on average, it's about $2 less per hour. But then when you lived in a state like I did in California, $2 less, let's say after taxes, you get about 45% of your paycheck taken out from taxes, which illegal immigrants usually on average got more take-home pay. And then a lot of times when people say, well, you get your taxes back at the end of the year. Well, that's not guaranteed you're going to get the entire thing back, right? So this whole thing about they get less money is actually not true, especially when you start factoring taxes. And Democrats would sit there and say, well, they pay taxes too. Yeah, okay, well, sales tax, that doesn't really count.
So wait a minute, wait. So they get paid less, but they don't get paid less?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about this, right? Let's say I'm getting $10 an hour, the illegal immigrant gets $8. It's usually about $2 less per hour. But they're not paying the exorbitant amount of taxes, all right? And so what happens is, and not only that, the employer doesn't pay taxes on the employee. So sometimes in certain places like California, if you really needed a job and you wanted to work, sometimes you had to work under the table because of the fact that the employer did not want to pay the taxes on the employee. Does that make sense?
So the employer pays less money ultimately, right?
Ultimately, yes.
That's the point. It doesn't matter how much they get paid. They don't care. The point is the employer wants to pay a lower amount of money. That's the point. How much you get paid? No, how much your take home is irrelevant. It's just a matter of the employer can pay them less.
No, it is relevant. And what I mean by that is that everybody has a sympathy saying, well, they get a lot less money, right? So everybody says, well, they're getting less money, they're getting less money, but they're not thinking about the American employee as well, because the American employee also gets shafted out of being paid.
I know what you mean because I know what you mean because some are trying to say that it's a matter of sympathy because they're getting paid less money, all this and that. And they're trying to make it be a thing to feel bad for them. For me, I never thought about it that way. I always thought that they can actually make more. Like in the case of the migrants from Haiti, they're being paid whatever they're getting paid in a chicken plant or whatever. It may be less than what the American would get paid by however much it is. It could be $1, $10 or whatever. It doesn't really matter because the employer pays less money overall, and the government is paying the migrant. That's the problem. The government's paying the migrant extra money that the Americans don't get paid, all because the employer wants to save money for themselves. So the employer benefits, the migrant benefits, the government is complicit. The people who suffer are the American people. That's my point of view.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I agree on that. Where I'm trying to get at, though, is the fact that the illegal immigrants actually don't get paid as less as people think because of that whole sympathy factor. When it comes down to it per hour, especially in construction wages, they do get more than minimum wage statewide. It's just usually maybe about $2 per hour less than the person that's actually on the payroll. And then sometimes they even cheat the system with fake social security numbers because sometimes they'll do half and half. And so that way they can get tax benefits.
Right on.
Yeah. So, and I know that personally because of the fact I used to work in kitchens and I used to work in construction and I used to do a lot of that stuff. And a lot of people turn a blind eye on it. And by the way, the reason why there's not a lot of people don't see the work for that also is that it's not advertised. You don't see a for or looking for work or anything like that, need help hired signs in a construction job, because usually it goes to a cousin or a friend or something else like that, and it's usually an illegal immigrant.
There it is. That's how it works.
So, yep. Anyway, ABL, just had to bring that up. Thank you very much. You have a good day.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I understand what he was trying to say. Like, they don't really get paid that much less, but what they get paid don't matter, because ultimately the employer pays less money. That's the whole point. That's the point. So the employer trying to save money, if they could pay the illegal alien $8 instead of $10 plus taxes, it's dramatically cheaper for the employer. The migrant ultimately might get paid more money because they're getting paid this money off the books under the table, and a lot of times they're getting government money. So they can succeed. And the winners in this situation are the employer, because ultimately they pay less money, so they save money. And the migrant wins because they're getting paid this cash off the books a lot of times, under the table. They winning. The American people are the ones that got to suffer because we're paying the taxes to pay for these people to be here. We're also not getting the jobs, so we're not getting the benefit of the productivity. We're not getting anything. All we're getting is a bill for this whole transaction. Some may think about it from the point of view of how much is the migrant getting versus how much the American is getting, but that's not really the right way to think about it. You got to think about everybody benefiting from this illegal thing except for us, the people. Springfield, Ohio is a prime example. You got the migrants coming here working in factories or whatever. Okay, they get their productivity for cheaper. It could be $1 less. It don't matter. The taxes alone would be enough. You could pay somebody the same amount of money per hour, but if they don't got to pay taxes on top, then they succeed. Because, like, contrary to popular belief, the employer pays the taxes. Okay, so they may pay you a certain amount of money, and then that gets taxed, but the employer got to pay it. Anyway, let's keep on going. Let's go to 860. You're on the line I'm speaking to.
Anthony, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, my brother from another mother?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, you're booming, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
It's awesome. It's been a long 4 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, very, very long. But at the same time, pretty quick.
Yeah, that's true. For me, it was very painful because we're coming up on the 4-year anniversary of my termination from Pratt & Whitney. I was fired for a video November 15th because I pointed out that the feds did it. It was a setup. And I said, we needed military tribunals and public executions. And my opinion still has not changed 4 years later. But if I may, sir, I'd like to say something. My black friends, they don't need a trophy, a participation trophy. They're just Americans. That's all I'm going to say about that. Americans come in 3 colors, red, white, and blue. Pick one, be that. But as far as Kamala Harris being black, that little cutie, Candace Owens, she did a pretty good series on that. I was very impressed with the genealogy, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about, the genealogy. Barack Obama, they never talked about his mama, did they?
They sure didn't.
Wonder why. Do you know what Barack Obama's daddy did?
No, what happened?
He was a B-17 pilot in World War II, and then he worked for the CIA. Guess whose granddaddy started the CIA?
Who's that?
George W. Bush. George H. Bush was a director of the CIA, our first Bush president. What a coincidence, huh?
Hey.
Wow. But so let me clarify to everybody where I come from. My first job was in the United States Army. I was a radio operator with International Morse Code. I speak, including English, I speak 4 languages. Io parlo italiano, cose. Io non parlo italiano 40 anni. I haven't spoken Italian in 40 years, but when I was in Siberia in 2017, working in the Russian military factory in Irkutsk, there was an Italian couple, elderly couple, retirees enjoying their golden years. They got into the elevator with me. Well, they started having a personal conversation. I hadn't spoken to them. I'm like, "Scusi, signora, io parlo italiano, please." No. It's a small world. But I was in Italy for 3 years. You know, when you're in Italy, you tend to do as the Romans do. You know, when you're in Germany, Herr Fräulein, 2 Bier bitte. You order 1 beer in Germany, you ain't going to get a second one for at least 2 hours. But, can you hear me okay, Anthony?
You said what now?
Oh, okay. I lost your voice there for a second. Can you hear me okay?
I got you. You hear?
Okay, I want to wrap it up real close because I want to close with this. I'm worried about this election. I really am, because if Trump wins, you know they're going to get violent. And Trump didn't do anything the last time because he surrounded himself with traitors. He surrounded himself with the deep state. And the first 51 people that signed the letter saying that Trump colluded with Russia, I worked on the MC-21-300 airliner project, and it don't happen. And the only reason I went in 2017 was because Trump was president. If Hillary Clinton was president, I'd have been getting ready for World War III. Vladimir Putin said that himself. When I took the ASATs of the Army in 1978, they made me take it 3 times because they thought I cheated. I scored 109 the first time, 111 the second time, and 114 the third time I took it. I have the paperwork up in the dorm room in my garage. So there's that. I turned down West Point. I didn't want to go to college. I have a degree in aviation maintenance technologies with a 4.0 that I got while living homeless in my pickup truck. And all I want to do is be an aircraft mechanic and raise my kids. That's all I want to do. But these Democrats, they want to tell us how to live our lives. And the whole point is they want communism. That's why they're flooding the country with the illegal aliens. You think it's bad now? They're building apartments right here in Connecticut, Portland, all over Connecticut. They've raised our electric bill $100. What they're going to do is they're giving these illegal aliens 2 years free rent and power to work here. That's what it is. And it's treason. It's treason. They are selling out our country because when America falls, the world is in slavery, period. That's the end goal. We need to get the UN off American soil. We need to get the hell out of NATO. There's no purpose for NATO. You're not going to tell me Russia hates America. I was in Russia for 6 months in 2017, and when I first got there, they didn't want me there. They gave me crap. I wore military shirts every Friday. I wore a military shirt, and they confronted me about it. When I was done talking to them, they gave me a Russian military shirt, and I wore that on Mondays because the U.S. Code of Military Justice says Mondays are supposed to be screwed up anyway. So, Anthony, I'll leave you with that. God bless America. Donald Trump, you become president. I am fully qualified to become the federal administrator of the FAA, and I will take charge, and I will put Boeing into black in 5 years, and I can help you get a permanent peace with Russia that's profitable. The reason why they're at war in Russia is they want the $75 trillion of minerals that Russia's sitting on. That's the only reason for the war in Ukraine, is to break up Russia. And I'll leave you with that, Anthony. You have a great night, and God bless America. Let's get our country back, people. Hoorah!
All righty, there we go. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. 949, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hi. Good evening, ABL. It's Marta Allen over here in Marietta, California. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I wish I was doing better. My arm hurts, the arm that the cops broke back last year in May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, it started hurting again. So the other day I went to the ER and they try to fix me up, but they don't do nothing for you. The medical system's gone downhill, let me tell you. Anyway, so on another note, the reason why I call in is I just got off the phone with my mom, and she says, "That's it. I don't care if I'm dying. I'm going to vote in person." I said, "Okay, good for you." She goes, "I don't believe in mailing in ballots anymore. She's like, that's how the whole election got stolen." So she was upset. I said, "Well, it's right at the end of Trump's, rally here in Coachella." And she goes, "Oh, let you get off the phone." I said, No. Talking to mom is way more important than Trump, But I wanted to know, question. So what do you think in regards to how people should vote? As just as a suggestion. I know you don't tell anybody what to do, but I know I'm going to go in person early, and so is my husband and my mom. What about you?
I'll be there in person on the day of. Absolutely.
The day of?
Yes.
You're not okay. So you're not thinking like some people I know, to where they think that we're going to have like a, what do you call that? EMP, or something goes wrong the day of voting. Have you thought of that possibility?
I don't live life in fear.
I'm glad to hear that. That's a very good answer.
Because the thing about it is, but to go further on that, the thing about it is that can happen at any time. You could be out early voting, and then that can happen. Then it's all kind of probabilities that can happen. I'm gonna just go out there and live my normal life. Because what I don't want them to do is try to demoralize me and make me be afraid of my own country. I don't want that to happen. So no, we're going to vote day of, and if I can't, then it's going to be a problem. And if that happens, it'll be a problem that they really can't even really fix. So I don't worry about stuff like that.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. Yeah, that's what I did, back in 2020. So I'm just so jealous. I wanted to go to that Trump rally in Coachella, but I'm just not feeling up to it because I'm in Marietta and Coachella's not too far from me. But I'm just really happy for my friends that got to go. So rock on, ABL, Trump 2024, and everybody in the chat. Love you, and get out there and vote. That's what Trump keeps on saying over and over again. Sounds like a broken record, but that's Trump, right? Got to keep on believing. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. But yeah, I didn't want to sound like I was being rude when I said the whole, I don't live life in fear. But, there's always probabilities of things that can happen, but I just don't even really think about it like that. Let's go to 310. You're on line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ron from Georgia, ABL. How you doing, sir?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Oh, another great week, man. We survived. Oh man, I tell you, I'm looking at you, and you're bringing to light of Obama and Magic trying to scold us on who to vote for. Man, they need to quit. They need to quit. Because sorry, just like what you said, man. I'm a grown man. I don't need to hear from you what you're going to give me your great advice. I'm sorry. You weren't that great of a president to give me a great advice. I'm sorry. But the thing about it is this, that you know what? The thing is to don't just walk from these people, run from them. I'm telling you, run from them because, he's just talking at the side of his neck. Magic Johnson, him too. He's a great businessman. I'm sorry, but he's a great advice giver because if he couldn't give his own son advice on what he need to be, how's he going to tell me? I'm sorry. I said the man need to rule his house well, and I'm sorry. If he's going for that okie doke for his son, I'm sorry. We're not going to do that for our country. No, we're not going to do that for our country. And another thing, brother, I don't know if you watched that town hall meeting with, was it Telemundo or Univision, whatever. But anyway, my wife and I, we watched that. We watched it thoroughly. And I tell you, the questions that was given to her on the stump was great. They had some pretty good questions. And some that I think that some people might have changed their questions right at the last minute because it kind of caught her off the stump that the teleprompter couldn't give her the answers to, and she was fumbling around. But the thing about it that it's funny that you can have a town hall with a teleprompter, and even though that teleprompter will go in, you can see it on, and then turn it right back off again. You know, when the camera trying to go over that way. I'm sorry, we saw it, and if you talk about it on Facebook or anything, you know they flag you, say that's misinformation. That's misinformation. I'm sorry, you don't believe them or my lying eyes. I'm sorry, I saw it, and you can't tell me nothing different. But you know what? There's help for our country. People are waking up. It's good to see the Pookie and them getting their mind right and everything. They starting to see it, even though their motives are wrong. They think they're just gonna get a check. I'm sorry, the only way you're gonna get a check, brother, you got to go out and go work for it. You know, go work for it. Like you said, do the grind. And there's nothing wrong with doing the grind. They tell you it's good work. Hey, find what you're good at, do that. And you know what, the American people, we need to continue to keep praying, keep believing, keep covering our president, the one that we want, and just be mindful. And then when in these streets, hey, you know what? I don't know what they're planning, on out there, but you know what? Stay strapped. You know, if you're able to carry, because you know what? I don't know. They got stopping all these people from doing some crazy stuff on voting days. You know, these Taliban that they let come in, that Kamala and them let come in, and everything on the plane. But we need to be ready. You know, Americans need to be ready because you know what? We don't know what's going to jump off. But you know what? We stay sane, sober, and prudent, and praying and believing. God bless you, brother. God bless all the people in the chat. Man, we just keep our country lifted up, you know, because we got to come against all this craziness that's going on. There's more sane people than crazy, that's for sure. But it seems like the craziers are loud. That's all that is. It's a bunch of loud noise. But we stay up, okay? Love you, brother.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay.
Great call as always. Shout out to my man for the call. Fantastic call. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Let's go. Who wants to speak it to? 6.7, you're on the line.
Hey, ABL, it's Jenna in West Virginia. So to the last caller's point, he's absolutely right about the whole teleprompter thing, because I'm pretty sure that I know you've gone to Trump rallies before, and you know when you register, it asks you, like, would you like to ask a question, at least for town halls, which was what the Univision one was for Kamala. It asks you if you want to ask a question, and it has you put your question in. So they select the questions they want to be asked, and then they put the answer in the teleprompter for her.
Yeah.
So they have the same system.
Yeah, that's what I see. And the thing is, they were trying to say, oh, it wasn't for her, it was for the host. But it's like, come on. She was right in front of the teleprompter, and you could tell that she was reading because of her body language. It's like, come on. Like, y'all are trying to tell me something that is obviously not right. The same way they tried to put out the different answer to the interview. Like I didn't see the first one. Like, I saw the interview, I saw the answer. You just want to change it like it didn't happen. They're playing too many games.
It's ridiculous. And the funny thing is, so my boyfriend actually is Salvadoran, and he was born and raised here. He lives like in Maryland, but right on the DC line. And it's obviously a very liberal neighborhood. So he actually is a real estate developer, but he basically tore down his family's like little teeny tiny 912 square foot ranch, and he built his mom a 10,000 square foot home. And then liberal neighbors, they're all very, very liberal around him in his neighborhood, despise him. They spread lies that he's like this drug dealer or something like that, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But he put up 2 Trump flags, and this week alone, they've called the county on him so many times for having, not the flags, because they can't do that, obviously, but over the flags, that he got $6,000 worth of fines for having a backhoe to redo his own, like, driveway for his mom. And it's just absurd. Like, the tolerant left, though, right?
Right. Exactly.
But last but not least, I don't know if anybody caught this. I want to go back right to the beginning of your stream really quick when you were talking about Kamala and her background. I don't know if anybody actually caught this. I know I was watching the Crowder stream of the State of the Union, and they interviewed Mike Johnson at the end, and they were asking him about how he got along with Kamala or something like that. And his exact words were, oh, we talked about, our families, and, we both talked about how both of our parents have passed. Donald J. Harris is very much alive.
That's right.
So I don't know why she told Mike Johnson that he was dead. It's very creepy.
Very, very creepy and easily proven incorrect. So I don't even know why that would be said. But then again, there goes the lies, just like the line about the teleprompter and the everything else.
Lastly, and I don't mean to take up too much of your time. Lastly, you know darn well that if Trump sat for 60 minutes and Melania punched her ex-boyfriend, or not punched, slapped her ex-boyfriend, or Melania got knocked up by a nanny, they would be asking questions about that. No, nothing for Kamala. Nobody asks about that.
Yeah, because they have the vested interest to ignore it. That's going to work in their favor. And if it was Trump, then their interest is attack, attack, attack.
It would be 24/7 coverage, and it's such malpractice. But I will let you get to the rest of your callers. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller, great call. But yeah, if that was Trump with those allegations on him, man, they'd be on that 24/7. They would not let it go, ever. They would never let it go. 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, I can't believe I got through. I just happened to dial the number and I got right through. Listen, I don't know what it is about the American people, but we like to vote for lawyers, and lawyers lie. There's been a study done on it. We need a businessman in there, so I'm just hoping and praying that Trump wins. So that's all I wanted to say. And God bless you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, but got to get businessmen in there. Somebody that knows what they're doing. Somebody that understands how to, make everything happen. We most certainly need that. That is for certain. That is for sure. But shout out to you guys. I really appreciate y'all for joining the number to call. Y'all know what it is, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And again, I appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. Y'all know what it is. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. That link will be in the box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform, search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Let's go to 631. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's Mary. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
All right. I got to say, this is the most poorly run campaign in American history. What do you think?
I definitely,
Harris campaign.
I most certainly agree with you. This is really, really poorly.
You could make a sitcom out of it. You really could.
You could.
I mean, what in the world? Now let's throw Tampon Tim out there with a shotgun to make this whole campaign seem much more macho. And nothing is authentic. He's out there with the big orange hat and the vest. Is he wearing chaps? I couldn't. I'm like, what? He looks like a clown.
Yeah, it looked like chaps. It really did look like chaps.
Like, is it a Western now? Nothing is authentic.
Right.
Everything they do is just a fraud. I mean, to me, it's more convincing putting her out there with a shotgun, pretending she's hunting. She's the macho one of the group compared to him.
Right.
And, the sad part is, I would say the majority of the votes that they are going to get are going to be the I hate Trump votes.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, and that's what they are trying to make their campaign be about, because every time they talk, it's about what Trump isn't doing and what Trump did do rather than what they're going to do to improve the country.
Yeah, that's all they have to ride on right now. The people, the never Trumpers, they hate him, and I'm voting against him. And they're just clowns. They're fools. There's nothing authentic about him, about the two of them. Nothing. I mean, you look at Trump, he's the real deal. He is so authentic. What you see is what you get. And America loves him. And they could never come close to him and his campaign. It's just fire. But that's all I got to say tonight, ABL. Love your show.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. You have a good one.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. 708. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 708. Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you well.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for having me up. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to add to the conversation that I took high offense to Barack Obama and Magic Johnson. I also want to add that I completely, without the shadow of a doubt, salute any black men who are not voting Democrat just based on principles. I think that's very strong of them. I think that's godly of them. I think that's very masculine. And I stand by the side of any black man who is standing on principle. I'm a part of Chicago Red. And I do know that Minister Louis Farrakhan is pushing Trump in Chicago. I do know that Pastor Corey Brooks is pushing Trump in Chicago. And there are multiple groups pushing Trump in Chicago. So my goal is for Chicago to definitely flip red.
Well, that's definitely something I would love to see. That'd be beautiful. It needs to happen, especially because you got some pressing issues. So you're in Chicago right now?
Yes, I'm in Chicago. I'm born and raised in Chicago my entire life.
So the Venezuelans, what's going on with them? Can you give us some insight on that from being on the ground in Chicago?
Well, I do know that the Venezuelans on the south side of Chicago on 61st and King Drive, they are purchasing pews. Oh, good. I don't know if I can say the word. I don't know if
you can. You good?
But they are, they're purchasing guns at a crazy amount. I do know that our young men are selling them guns on purpose. Guns that they have already been used to shoot somebody. Now the Venezuelan will get caught with them. I do know that 2 black men was just recently shot and killed by an Arab in JJ's Fish. Now, the Venezuelans over here on the west side where I am, they're humble. They're humbled. I mean, we tussle with them all the time. We constantly surrounding them. We making sure that they don't get too far to do absolutely nothing. They go to the store and go back home.
Yeah, but see, I see it's an issue people are talking about because I was watching. I did that one video about the guy that had the corner store. He was asking people about, Trump or Kamala, and everybody that came to the front or who they showed said, we going for Trump because Kamala not doing anything for us. She's not helping us. So I hope to see Chicago and the whole Illinois go red because we need it. Right now, the country, if we keep going down this path, we're not going to make it.
Sir, may I just add to you, when Obama started the Obamacare in Chicago, Obamacare got severe mental health patients, maybe just an overnight stay in a facility if it was cold outside. When Obama took office, all of the mental patients had to live on the streets. They living on the train still right now to this day. Majority of our crime is being committed by those who are traumatized and mentally disturbed. Can you imagine an elementary age child with their eyes bulging out their head because they so on whatever drug or pill they're on? This is what Obamacare led to in Chicago.
That's terrible. Terrible.
Resources. I've been on the Chicago housing list since my 30-year-old was in Pampers. The trauma that I've been through, I have the bullet wound to prove it. I have the slice across my face to prove the trauma just out here trying to survive and trying to make it. And not to mention, I voted Democrat since 1993, never missed an election. So I'm raging. I'm not going to stay up too long because I know it's others, but I'm raging. I am raging.
I hear you. I really do.
So thank you so much for having me up. And my prayers is that Chicago go red. I've already started researching Republican candidates for local offices in Chicago.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. We need to just keep that whole thing going and make it better because, like I said, we keep going down this path, we're not going to make it.
Yes, we're not going to make it. But I refuse. I'm going to fight tooth and nail to the bitter end. I refuse. But thank you so much for having me, sir, and I love your show.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Shout out to Chicago. Yeah, we got to get it right, man, because like I said, it's not sustainable. You got to do something else. Who am I speaking to? 267, you're on the line. Hello, 267, going once, going twice. All right, I don't know what happened to 267, but we got to get the Obama phone minutes cracking. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
All righty, man. What's going on?
All right. Shout out to you and the callers. I've really been enjoying the calls. Yeah, I've been having a streaming marathon the last couple of days. I've been doing good. And also, I really liked hearing the insight about what's going on over there with the Venezuelans and stuff. It sounds, exactly what we predicted, that they would be, doing violent things and stuff. And it's good to hear insight from somebody that's on the ground over there.
Absolutely. It's definitely good to hear because politicians will say, oh, that's not really happening. It's conspiracy theories. But when you hear from the people, it's different than what the media would like to say.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of times they want to push a narrative and they want people to think the way they think. This goes like with conspiracy theories also, that they don't want people to believe something. They want people to believe what they want to believe. A lot of things, from George Orwell's book and stuff, that's what's going on now. And yeah, because that's why it's good when we have YouTube and this type of media, because there's so many other outlets that are lying to people.
Oh, absolutely. 100% correct.
Yeah. And because I think, it's very important for people to vote and to not be demoralized by all the stuff and the propaganda in the media. And what I mean by people's fears and doubts about the integrity of the country. And I remember something from the samurai that even if someone was going to hypothetically lose, retaliate anyway. But we're not going to lose. America's going to still stay strong. But as I said, people shouldn't have a mentality of being demoralized to the point where they don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah, definitely. You can't have that going because that's the way people can defeat you. If they could just stop you from fighting and if they could just kill your drive, then they've succeeded.
Right, because the key of the art of war is to subdue an enemy without fighting anyway. And that's the whole thing. There's a lot of psychological tricks. And that's why it's good for people to just vote and to not let the demoralization get the best of them.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah, and also the person that was having the Trump flags up and the liberal neighbors weren't liking them. Yeah, it's very sad that the liberals have been demoralized to see the MAGA people as an enemy, because they always say that our side is fascist and like the Nazis, but that's what they're like, because that's what the communists and the Nazis did to their enemies. They demoralized them and saw them as inferior to themselves.
That's right.
Yeah, and yeah, I think Obama and the other Democrats, the way they'll try to talk down the black people and try to lecture them, it's like they don't realize, and we're catching on to it, everybody, is that they're not really for the black people. They're just, they're actually against them like they were before, but they're just pretending to be their friend, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's just about trying to gain people, trying to gain their vote, but it's not really a serious thing.
Exactly. And I was seeing something, FEMA had a video a little while back, like a year ago, about dealing with crisis like with hurricanes, to really specifically focus on the LGBTQ people. and that basically inferencing that they're weaker than like the straight people. But then again, they catch themselves in a trap. It's like you're calling the LGBTQ people weak. And also with the black people, they've said they didn't know how to use computers, so have to help them. But really, in my opinion, they're actually against those groups, and they're trying to cause more division. Like, it's opposite of what they're saying.
It's always like that, but it's all about trying to market it a certain way to where it is appealing to certain people, but it's never really what they actually say. It's a bunch of deception going on with these people.
Right. And also, do you remember in 2016 where they had the clown apocalypse going on?
The clown apocalypse, I don't remember that.
Okay, so I could, basically in 2016 there was a lot of clown sightings all over the United States and the UK and Canada and Australia.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, that was something I was talking about in my stream before, and a lot of the other people remembered it. And yeah, these clowns were appearing in the woods, and they were appearing around like street signs and stuff, and they were kind of like harassing people and doing like criminal stuff. And it originally had to do with promoting one of those clown movies, but it got out of hand. And I was looking more about clowns and what they originally were. And internet trolls, I learned, actually are the modern day clowns.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because now there's clowns like in a circus that are not scary like the evil clowns, but basically with the clowns that like the king would have, like the gestures and stuff, they would tease and mock and do stupid things towards the king and towards different people for their own amusement and to entertain others. But as I said, it's the internet trolls they're the modern day clowns. It's interesting, I learned.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And one thing I like to see is with all the donations and stuff that go on during the hurricane, and so many people came together to help those people in the different hurricane zones, but our own government can't seem to really effectively help our own people, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really crazy, but that's part of the problem. It's like, okay, if we have a government, then what are they for? Are they to help the American people during a time of need, or are they there to just be the world police and ignore Americans? It shouldn't be the other way around. It should be to help us, not the entire world first.
Yeah, and Kamala, to me, she reminds me of a cackling clown.
Yeah, she does have that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Waltz is really goofy too, and I was seeing some stuff about what y'all were talking about with him. Yeah, he's very goofy, and he always has this weird stare to him. He doesn't really, I don't know what's going on in his head.
I can't call it. I don't know what's going on with that guy.
Yeah, and also, because I feel our side is much more sane and like level-headed than the other side, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Right. And also, ABL, that's all I have to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out, man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's go to 970. You don't know who I'm speaking to.
Hi. I'm calling in from New Mexico, and I just wanted to say that I really appreciate your show and how you keep truth, how you speak a lot about truth. And I'm actually a registered libertarian, but I am 34, and I remember growing up that the art of debate is lost. Growing up, you had to know both the pros and the cons of each side, and that has been totally lost. I also want to tell the viewers that if you are just sick of the mess that's going on with our federal elections, make sure you pay attention to your local and your state elections. Thank God these people in Florida actually pay attention to their state and local government, because those are the ones that's going to be able to help you, because our federal government they're just playing games at this point. Sending $157 million to Lebanon and $2 million to people who are suffering in the Carolinas is craziness. But yeah, if you're tired of the foolishness with the federal government, make sure you pay attention and vote locally and for your state. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, great call, and that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. I'll be back live again on Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. But I appreciate y'all for joining. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Thank y'all for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I really appreciate y'all for keeping the chat nice and cool and calm and above board. But that'll be a wrap for me. Did I get everybody on the super chat? I believe I did. I might got a couple more here. Thank you to Howie Brown for the thank you emoji. And thank you to Outlander. I think I read that one. It says, Outlander says, supporting freedom of speech. I appreciate y'all for that. That'll be a wrap for me. Again, I'll be back live on Wednesday, but I'm here pretty much every day putting out pre-recorded content. If you're not subscribed for whatever the reason may be, you might just come across this video randomly. Go ahead and subscribe. What you waiting on? It's free, 100% free. Subscribe. Look forward to the new content. And of course, whenever we got some kind of big event, something like that going on, a debate, and of course, I will be here for the election. Y'all get out there and vote. If you got early voting, do it. If you got on the same day voting, do it. However kind of way you vote, make sure you vote. That's all I ask. And of course, you guys are very smart, very brilliant, very intelligent. You're not going to go out there and vote Kamala Harris. At least I will hope so. We all know why. We know the policy decisions that she wanted to do. And as a matter of fact, we know that she's not making any kind of decisions. It'd be the people behind the scenes. She can't even do a speech without getting Tampon Tim to be the emotional support animal. So how is she going to go out there and really actually run the country? She's not. You already know that. So you know who to vote for. You know what to do. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.